most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
What's going on? Welcome into the Braylon Edwards Show on Woodward Sports. Excited to have you join us on this beautiful Friday. It seems as though the wildfires are slowing down just a little bit on the Canadian side because the air was a little bit better today. I still will stay inside, but the air is a little bit better today. As I say, what's up to my co-host and my friend, Anson Wells. How you doing?
I'm damn good today. We got a fun show today.
Fun.
A little bit of good news, a little bit of news in here to actually talk about. Yeah. We get Kool-Aid back.
Hey, shout out to Double D, as they say. At least I was told that. Good to talk with Kool-Aid. More is coming out as it relates to the East basketball conversation, starting to pick up a bit with summer league being over. Now people trying to finalize those rosters, and I think we'll talk about that. The Pistons are trying to finalize their roster here. A couple names have been thrown out there, as well as other teams. And you know who's still floating around? None other than LeBron James himself. So we'll get into some of that talk. But as I introduce LeBron James, as I introduce B-Lad and Riley to the crew, I got to talk to my boy Jay Satawa because I was not the only one that saw the Christopher Nolan movie, The Odyssey, starring Matt Damon and Anne Hathaway and Tom Holland. I enjoyed it. I'll start there. I'll start us off, Justin. I'll let you jump in.
I also did enjoy it. I had a great time. You know, I'm not going to lie. I am not a serious moviegoer. I'm going to leave it at that. I've taken film classes because I had a minor for a little while in film before I realized that I don't really like that much.
Hold on. Did you really want to be in film, or was like, this class is gonna be easy? Let's do it. Let's watch some. Okay. See, I've had a couple classes like that before.
Same.
So I get it.
Same.
Though, and I learned about cinematography, and I learned about all that good noise. And I will say, the production, the scenery, the effects, all top tier, up to par. The sound. I don't know if you went and saw it in an IMAX theater,
I
Braylon,
did.
but
IMAX actually.
It shakes. It was shaking the theater with the sound, and I just thought it was a really cool movie. I know you're way more in the Greek mythology, so I'm really interested to hear what your take is on it.
No, I appreciate that, man. And, you know, one of those classes that I took along the way at University of Michigan was Greek mythology and the history of. So that kind of fell in the lines of that for me. I thought Christopher Nolan did an excellent job. I think there are some things that could have done better, but we'll get into that. Every movie has an element of that. I think, like he said, you know, when you go watch The Dark Knight or The Dark Knight Rises or Batman Begins, like, he shoots in such a dark hue, if you will. He adds seriousness. Like, even just how they shoot cinematically, it's an intenseness to every scene. And intensity is the major word. Like, there was so many intense scenes throughout this movie. I found myself gripping the edge of my seat a couple times over. Can't describe the scene because I don't want to ruin it for you.
Yeah, I had to look away.
Yeah, 100%. So I won't ruin it for you. But there were a couple misconceptions and that aren't necessarily true. And I believe I can talk about one or two of them on this show without telling you and spoiling it for you. Here's the biggest one. People are always wrong when they think the Iliad and the Odyssey or the Trojan War is actually about the Trojan horse. If you ever read the Iliad, if you ever read the Odyssey, you know that the Trojan horse does not exist. It is just myth. It was written later, 100 years after the war. It was written by another Arthur, and he put it in his romanticized piece of that war. So newsflash and spoiler alert, there is no Trojan horse in the real book. However, there is one in the movie. What else was a misconception in that movie that I can explain? There aren't twin wives, I will say that. Outside of that, I won't ruin the movie for you. It is good. 3 hours. I didn't necessarily feel it. I felt like I was locked in. I enjoyed it. The noise, it did get loud in there. It did get intense. Matt Damon, I enjoyed the role that he plays because you don't think of him as an action hero. He's not an action hero, and he's not an action hero. Has some scenes, kind of like The Bourne Identity.
Oh, okay.
As I was saying, kind of like The Bourne Identity. He has a couple scenes, but for most part, he is known for his thinking. He is known as a cerebral assassin back in those times. But overall, I give it. Let's go percentage or mics, or percentage or stars, I should say.
I'll do stars.
You'll do stars. All right. What's your rate for Odyssey? The five-star system.
I would say 4. It's a 4-star.
Is it a 4.1? Is it 4.2? Is it 4.4? Or is it just 4.0?
I think it's right at the 4.
Okay.
I think it's right at the 4. I think it was a really good movie. And I took an edible. Shout out to Lou before I went. And
Smart.
When I'm going to a 3-hour movie on an edible, I don't expect it to feel like 3 hours. And I did check my phone after 2 hours and was like, damn, how long do we got left in this movie? And because it kind of felt like the third act. It was like, I was like, how are they going to wrap this up? Like, I was like questioning if they were going to be able to wrap it up in an hour and from where they were when I checked my phone. So, but I really like the movie. And the more I think about the movie and the movie wears on me, I like it more and more. So maybe the next time I watch it, I'll like it even more. But I did look away one or two scenes. I was like, I'm not a horror movie guy. Like, that stuff freaks me out. So there was one scene where it involves pigs, and that I had to look away.
Spoiler alert. A movie that involves 3 books that are written over the course of 2,000 plus pages is 3 hours long.
From like 1,000 years ago, too.
I told Justin it was because, look, you put together 2 shows yesterday. You worked, you busted your ass, then you waited for the heavyweights because everybody went and saw it across the street. I said all that probably played into it a little bit, but I would agree with Justin. I won't give it a 5. It isn't a masterpiece, if you will. It is a really well done movie. I go 4.3. So I'm not gonna give it the 4.5, but it was better than just a 4.0. 4.3 for me. 4 point for Justin. We'll meet in the middle. It's about a 4.15.
But I go to movies, like, I just want to put out there, like, I go to movies literally just to have a great time, enjoy, laugh. Like, that is why I go to the movies. Like, I go see dumb stuff. Like,
not much laughter.
No laughter. Zero. Like we want to talk about a little laughter. We'll talk about, like, a Marvel or DC movie.
True. Robert Pattinson wasn't supposed to be funny in this movie, but because his character was such a bitch, he had some funny scenes.
I can't comment because I want to say stuff that will be spoilers. So I'm just
say less. We'll talk. We'll talk after there. What you got to answer?
But he's a bitch.
Yeah, facts. Facts. Which is actually even funny because we'll talk off air. Because it's very ironic what you just said. Go.
Freddie Feld in the chat. Hot take alert. Delivered in the Armani voice. You might be able to do that better than I can, so I'm not going to try it.
Hot take alert, Ryan Armani. Hot take, Ryan Armani.
Thank you for that. Christopher Nolan is an overrated filmmaker.
Yeah.
Same anxious, gnawing pace in every movie. Same cinematography templates. Tim Burton Batman greater than Nolan Batman.
There are elements of that I will agree with. He does, but the type of movies that he does in that pace are the type of movies that deserve to be done in that pace. Like if you go watch Memento has to be shot like that. You watch The Dark Knight, the way in which he was trying to portray his Batman had to be shot like that. This is a story. This is an intense movie, and it had to be shot at a certain pace. But I think he does a good job switching it up in this movie. I agree with that, and I actually like Michael Keaton's Batman a little bit better too, so I'm with you on that.
Freddie fell with the super chat that made me realize it deserves the unheard of Zorro snap in a Z4 Nation.
You definitely just hit me with the In Living Color. 2 film on men.
Men on film. Men on film.
Two snaps in a twirl.
He said he's going to do a men on film impersonation for Woodward Cinema.
Yeah,
I would pay to see Freddie Feld do men on film.
that would be absolutely hilarious. You know,
him and Stick. Two very dudes doing men on film.
Men on films. I like that. Potentially in the future, we got to see what Stick has on that. Something else happened to me today, and I want to ask you this: Are people still giving the middle finger? Like, do people still give the middle finger in traffic? Are people still going around honking the horn and then flipping you off in traffic? Yay, nay?
I don't.
The answer is yes.
I give them something else, but I want to hear about this.
The answer is a resounding yes. On my way to work today, I got cut off. And the guy gives me the finger. Like, this guy was in a rush.
Did you respond to the cutoff?
I'm about to tell you the story. So I'm legitimately driving in. I'm on 8 Mile Road. Guy cuts me off. I guess I'm going at a pace that was too slow for him. Speed limit is 45, by the way, the whole way down 8 Mile. Doesn't go to 50. Stays at 45 the whole way. I was going probably like 41, 42.
Way too slow for 8 Mile, Brad.
True, but I'm in my head. I got stuff going on. I'm trying to get to the show. I'm relaxing.
You gotta go 60 just to fight for your life.
But it's not even that many people on the road. Maybe because of the weather. Maybe because of the hue out. The hue would be the word today. Yeah, so there's 4 of the lanes on 8 Mile. Go to one of those. So anyway, cuts me off. proceeds to cut me off. Don't you know we ended up next to each other 2 lights later?
Did you give him a look?
I just rolled up next to him, I pull up. I look. Now he doesn't want to look at me. Now he's giving me the finger. Doesn't want to look at me. Doesn't want to acknowledge me. The light was a long light. And eventually, kind of hits me one of those. Then his dumb ass realized who I was.
Yes.
And then you can tell that he wanted to say hello or he wanted to say something else.
I'm
but now he's so
sorry.
effing embarrassed
I'm sorry.
because he was stupid. Like you cut me off. You cut me off at 11:30 on a Friday with no traffic, and then got right next to me at the light and kind of did one of those.
I hope he's a Michigan fan.
I let it go, man. At the end of the day, like, hey,
Probably
look, it was no reason to flip him off or roll down the window and like, yeah, what am I gonna say? Yo, pull over. Now, if this was 5 years ago,
Yeah, right.
I may be having a different conversation with them all together. But people still give the middle finger, like, grow up.
You know, the other side of this story is
What?
him telling it all weekend. You know who I flipped off
Like,
yesterday?
Cut me off and
right.
flip
All
me off.
pro Woodward Sports own Braylon Edwards. Now, see, Bray, I give him something
He
else.
cut me off and flipped me off.
I know what Anson does. I don't even have to ever driven with Anson, but I know the type of guy Anson is.
I need to figure out
Anson
Anson.
hits him
Thing
with
is,
the
is-
thumb down. He gives
No,
him the
no,
thumbs
it's
down.
It's far worse. I don't hit him with this.
That's the one right there.
I hit him with this.
This is the one. This is
I
the
hit
one.
him with this. All
Uh,
right? Girls
is that-
and guys alike, and they both hate it equally. You want to
That's what
get
Stephon
under
Diggs
somebody's skin, you call him one of those.
oh, so is that what Stephon Diggs was throwing up after his touchdowns?
No, I think he was throwing up one of these.
I'm gonna continue to have fun with this story because there are so many legs to that story. Literally, there are a lot of
Third
legs
last
to that
day
story.
right.
stuff. You know,
Facts.
you know, did we hear about the Will Reichert thing? Do we know
That
why?
shit's-
What is this? Will Reichert is not allowed to shower with the team anymore.
My balls was hot.
Bruh,
Cool him down,
this
baby,
Shit
cool him
not,
down.
is not real.
No, that is a real report. Now, the reasoning and the quotes, those are all made up, and I urge you to go and look for some of the quotes. They're lies, but no, this is real. He is not allowed, and I forget what the exact term was, but it was causing like unrest or a disruptive environment, work environment.
Like what
Yeah.
what would he possibly be doing in the
Yeah,
shower?
I
need
with
to
him
know.
not allowed? Because as a football player, like I've never heard of anybody being like, "Look, you can't shower."
I know, that's what I need to know.
Like last time that situation happened, there was a kid. I think I was in 7th grade at UD Jesuit,
no.
7th, 8th grade, and they told the kid that. I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." Like, why would they be having this for a Will record? I don't know. It just, I don't know. It makes no sense.
I need more.
I don't need to know, but like if you ever find out, you know, you can. You can
We
pass
got a
that
super
info.
chat coming in here, and I did ask him. I typed it in and I said, we need some super chats today. And Dante honoring it.
Like
'cause
clockwork.
He's the legend with the $10 super chat, guys. It's
Shout out to
Friday.
Dante.
Show us what you want to talk about. We want to hear from you. Smash the like button as well, and give us a share. Each one of you, smash the like right now, and then share it to somebody. Maybe that fantasy football message group. One movie I can't wait to see that looks funny is The End of Oak Street, which I thought was a Nightmare on Elm Street, but that's a different street. It's a dinosaur survival action horror film coming in on August 14th. Also, I want to see a movie called By Any Means.
It's funny you mentioned Nightmare on Elm Street because the guy that played Freddy in those movies is Robert Englund.
Yes,
he's actually
sir.
he's in a new movie coming out. It's a scary, dark, twisted Pinocchio.
Oh. Ooh.
Like all the
Pinocchio originally was
well,
scary.
first of all, every Disney adaptation started off as a German or some foreign horror story or
Yeah.
nightmare. Like one
Heights
of
Tales
none of
or
those are
something?
like Pinocchio. None of those tales are good stuff. But yeah, 100%. We got a Kirby Josie video before we get to the break.
Please.
Show this video because
Please,
everybody's
dude.
wondering what our safety is gonna be. Is our safety gonna be back? When is the All Pro coming back? Well, when you make plays like these, people start to ask questions on. Maybe he already is back. Run that footage when we get this. Oh, is that because the?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay.
It
Unfortunately,
wasn't the TD, and then when the computer shut off,
that
it
was
didn't save.
that was me. I unplugged an extension cord that was not marked.
Shout out to Anson.
It's marked now.
Yeah.
It's marked
know-
now. To save myself though, Justin did look and he said, "Why the hell is it plugged in over there?"
100%. Like legitimately, the wall is probably 15 feet away from the desk. I get that, but when we get that highlight, it makes you wonder if
We'll show you.
if he's back.
We'll show you.
back.
We'll get it at some point, right? gentlemen?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We're getting it right now.
We'll get it at some point. We'll wait. Take a commercial
Yeah,
break.
let's make some money.
All right, let's make some money. Let us talk about Planet Fitness. We're going to go to Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. 2,700 gyms around the country, 54 in the great state of Michigan. This is the gym for you. I tell you this all the time. I'm actually taking my girlfriend's daughter Saturday to get her membership. And actually right now, because of the weather outside, Planet Fitness has a deal. I'm so sorry to not mention this yesterday. They have a deal right now. If you come in because of how the weather is, they will let you work out for free. They will allow you to get a free temporary membership,
That's
see how
awesome.
it goes, extend it, and maybe this is the way to start your journey. Maybe you go there, maybe you take a look around, maybe you see all the things that we talk about all the time. I told you there's no judgment. All the times we've told you there's trainers and equipment is clean. Maybe you take this free opportunity to make this something more permanent, because fitness is essential to your mental and your physical. So take the opportunity. Take Planet Fitness up on their opportunity. You go in, you get a temporary membership, and see how that journey goes for you. Remember, we're all strong on that planet, and that planet is Planet Fitness.
Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Jahmyr Gibbs, breakout season, loading.
Inside the 5, Gibbs to the end zone, touchdown!
Woodward Sports, the most dominant Detroit sports coverage around.
Hey guys, it's all day IPA time because it's Friday and it's nasty out. It's hot out, and you know, there's a lot better taste you can have in your mouth than the smoke. And I'm talking about the king of IPAs, the all day IPA. It's not bitter, it's sweet, refreshing, citrusy, and balanced with that 4.7% alcohol by volume that will pace you throughout the day. Get on out to your nearest retailer and get yourself some of it. But make sure when you get Founders #1 IPA that you drink it responsibly.
Welcome back and welcome in. Appreciate you guys for joining in us. Excuse me. Thank you for joining us or tuning in, either version of that. No, not me. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you guys. It's Friday. You could be doing a lot of other things, but you're rocking with us, man. So we appreciate that, and we appreciate you. We also appreciate the man, the myth, the legend. Kool-Aid just ran into the studio, so excited to see and talk to him about his journey out west and how it was out there during summer leagues. But before we left, we talked about the Odyssey, and I just want to know, why didn't me and Anson get the invite to go to see the movie with you guys? Because it was about 5 guys from the network that went to see the movie, and I didn't give it. I think it's because I'm black. Anson thinks it's because he's old. Like can you care to elaborate?
You know what it was?
Because
Well, they wanted a chance with the Phillies that they ran into. With us, it'd be slim pickings for the boys.
I'm just trying to figure it out because I feel some type of way.
Don't be putting this slander on me, Ricky.
You got a
okay?
wonderful girl.
All right?
I appreciate you.
Look. Braylon literally already was ready to go to the movie when we walked off the show. His mom walks in. He's like, "All right, Braylon, like let's go." And and then
partially true.
I walk back to the.
She wasn't going to the movie,
after I go. Oh well, my bad. Yeah. Either way, I do Woodward Wings and I walk out off Woodward Wings and I walk to the back and Spenny, Easy, and Ryan and Bomber are all back there looking at seats and I'm like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, oh, we're gonna go to the Odyssey. And I was like, well, can I come? And they were like, yeah. So then I went. That was that simple.
All
you
right.
could have done the same thing. You could have walked back there.
So technically, you weren't invited either.
Technically, I was not. I made myself
invited. That makes me
invited.
feel a little bit better.
That makes makes me feel a lot better as well. B-Lad is finally back with us. He's finally back in the seat. He's finally bringing in some topics around NFL. Is always fun with him. One of the topics that came up today, per John Jansen, who works with the flagship station 97.1, he made a comment. You have more information on the comment. You have the exact quote. I can kind of paraphrase per se, but you have information behind it. Basically, in his comment, he alludes to the fact that he has some intel from having sources inside the team, which he played for at one point, the Detroit Lions, that Jahmyr Gibbs may hold out if terms are not met before the season starts. Now, these are his words. He says he had intel. He says, and that intel provided the information saying that if Jahmyr Gibbs does not get paid a contract before, then he will most likely hold out. Now, we have another article as well as video footage, and you can elaborate more, B-Lad.
Yes. So when I initially saw this, I understand that there are a lot of other running backs around the league that are signing some pretty big contracts. But at the same time, I knew that this could have just been fiending for clicks. And I remember in OTAs, Amon-Ra St. Brown was getting interviewed by a lot of the media out there, and he was actually asked about how Jahmyr Gibbs is handling these contract talks. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, in quote, shared how he has handled the ongoing contract chatter, insisting the star running back remains fully focused on football and helping Detroit win rather than worrying about a new deal. Amon-Ra St. Brown states, I think he's doing great. You know, Jahmyr is a guy that's not too focused on that, Amon-Ra said. He's worried about having fun on Sundays. He didn't miss any OTAs. He was there, all OTAs with us. He just loves ball, so I think Jahmyr Gibbs is not worried about all that stuff. So there you go, right there. Everyone knows, and even Jahmyr Gibbs knows himself, he's due for a massive contract. But a holdout in the sense that, he's been to everything. He hasn't missed a single practice as far as it seems. He has been there for every single OTA, every single mini camp you could ever imagine. So that's why, there's a reason why there was nothing out there to begin with. And this is how it all started.
I appreciate that, man. Look, I'm going to take it from here. I'm going to give you what I think as a former player. I'm going to give you what I think from what I've watched. And we're going to let Anson chime in, man, and bring it on home. First and foremost, as a former player, yes, you do know guys inside the program. You do know guys inside the wall. And a lot of times when you're trying to make a point, a lot of times you use that as a buffer. Hey, look, talk to some guys on the inside. Who's going to verify that? Who's going to verify that information? So I think this was just him trying to extend the conversation. It got a little out of hand, and here we are, a conversation that nobody else is seeming to talk about but him. With that being said, I think it's foolish in this sense. In this sense, I think it's foolish. You pay attention to the people that are older than you, the leaders on your team, the veterans, and the situations, the things that you've seen. That's how you vet situations. He's vetted a situation. Did Aiden Hutchinson have to sit out? Did he get paid? Did Aleem McNeil have to sit out? Did he get paid? Did Amon-Ra St. Brown have to sit out of camp sometime and then to get his money? Didn't he get paid? Did Jared Goff have to sit out? He didn't get drafted here. That's why I threw him in there. Did Kirby Joseph, who we have a nice video for you guys on, did he have to hold out in camp? With all that being said, I think you have to follow habitual situations. And for the Lions, they will habitually pay their players. They don't want to go through the BS of holdouts. They don't want to go through the BS of frictions. They don't want to go through the BS of potentially being seen as a team that is going to renege on their deal. And their deal is, you come here, you ball out, you get paid. And the last person that got paid just got paid about a month and a half ago. His name isn't Johnny Kemp like the song says on Friday. It's Jack Campbell, who just got paid on Friday. So for me, it's like, why would I believe that Jahmyr Gibbs, that has watched Amon-Ra St. Brown and all these other guys, why would I believe that he would take a different step?
Correct.
Because of Devon Achane getting paid, because of Bijan Robinson if he was to get paid beforehand. He's not worried about anything outside of Allen Park. He's not worried about any player that's not on the Detroit Lions. And we have knowledge, we have a system, and the Ford system is paying players that they draft.
there's a chance they could start raining meatballs tomorrow. There's a chance that pigs could fly tomorrow. In fact, there's a chance that the Lions could trade for Pat Mahomes.
There's not a chance.
And according to John Jansen, quote unquote, there is a chance.
Would Stick be mad if somehow we got Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually.
Like, this is a dumbass question because it would never happen. But
that's a good question.
Like, if we got Patrick Mahomes before the season, would he be mad?
No.
Yes, he would.
No, he would
This
not.
is Stick.
No.
Stick says that Jared Goff is the perfect human being for this city, for this offense.
Mahomes is on his dynasty team that he just won a championship with. So that's the
different.
one name. And it's Patty Mahomes. But listen, according to John Jansen, there is a chance that Jahmyr Gibbs is looking at running back deals. Yeah, there's a chance that he's paying attention to the world.
Yeah, for sure.
The contracts that the Lions have handed out, yes, he's friends with these guys, as we just talked about. He's seen that. When they handed them out, yeah, he was alive during those times, and says, I'm next in line. If I don't get my contract before camp, I may be a hold-in or hold-out, Jansen said. However, you want to talk about not practicing until he gets a deal. That's what you want to do? That's what you're putting out there, John? I mean, honestly, this is just clickbait, trying to drum up some kind of a problem when there clearly is not one. The Lions would have never traded Monty if they didn't know that Jahmyr Gibbs was ready to strap up and get on the field this year. All right? He'll be there for practice because that's what this team is all about. And to Braylon's point, he knows he's going to get paid. They've had this conversation. And in fact, why would you want to be paid based on last year's production when you're in line to be the bell cow? This is ridiculous. But hey, y'all got to get your clicks somehow these days.
I don't know about you. I would like to be paid for what I did last year. You know,
No doubt, dog.
I want to be paid for what I did last year. But no, I mean, realistically, the conversation about extension has come up, and because it's a real one, you look at the running back market, you look at the running back shelf life, you look at all the things that we talk about, Jay. This is what they want to bring up, and it's a fair conversation to have. The even more fair conversation to have is what Anson said. They got rid of David Montgomery. They believe in who Jahmyr Gibbs is, and they're going to pay their guys. You give me an example when they didn't. Don't worry, I'll wait as it relates to this regime. So, nothing more than that, I think, Jay.
No, I think you guys hit it right on the head. We have seen the track record of this front office, and it is paying anyone who has shown that they are a core piece of this team. They're trying to do it a different way than everyone else, and going away from the norm, and that would be exactly that when you decide to pay a running back the amount of money that they're essentially going to pay Gibbs and the term. It's going to be an interesting maneuver. I'm excited to see how it translates over Jahmyr Gibbs' career if they do give him a running back mega extension. But I don't really think he's going to get that. I think that he's going to follow like you said, the rules of others that have come before him and take more team-friendly deals. Still on the high end of the running back market, but not record-breaking where he's the number one paid run. I could see that, but I don't think that that's a guarantee. I think that he would go for more term over the short length money. Dante 151 in the chat. 2 $5 super chats here. We'll start with the fun one. If the Lions got Mahomes and a certain someone, Sam, would do backflips, multiple backflips. Then he doubles down here. I think the Lions, they're going to give Gibbs his money because they want to get that deal done before the Falcons pay Bijan Robinson to a huge contract. And before you answer that, there's another one from Michael Weary. I'm going to pitch these both to you, Braylon. All right. $2 super chat, Michael Weary. Is it fair to hold out while under contract, Bray?
So the first question was, are they going to get it done before the camp or before Bijan? I can see it going both ways, and the reason why I answer the question that way is because, one, I don't think Bijan controls what happens with Jahmyr Gibbs. And that may be unfair to say. I don't think if his number is astronomical, it's not
used differently.
It's a different deal. Like he's the guy for them. They're gonna pay him whatever they're gonna pay him. It's a different setup here in Detroit. It's a different setup based on the team. Like they won't try to overdo it. They may just slightly under.
He's kind of their whole offensive scheme.
100%.
Whereas this is just a weapon here.
So it's a different situation. And the second question you asked me was,
is it
fair?
To hold up?
I think so, because I think sometimes players put themselves in tremendous situations where they have completely outplayed their contract and even been way more than you expected. And sometimes in those rare spaces, like you're looking at a guy and 2 years, 3 years, 44 touchdowns, et cetera. It's like, yeah, I know you did a 5-year deal because you're a first-round draft pick, but we didn't imagine that you were going to be out here rocking Barry Sanders numbers. We didn't imagine that you were going to become Weapon X. We didn't imagine that you would be arguably the best weapon on offense in the NFL. So when you do things like that, it's like, yeah, there is a fair case for you to get your money faster, and then you make the argument for the team. If y'all pay me now, you don't have to pay me what you're going to owe me later. And with that ticket comes due. Different positions obviously made more sense, wide receivers, DNs, et cetera, versus running backs to shelf life. But I think if you outplay a contract, I think if you put yourself in a situation where in 2 years, 3 years, you become the best player in the league when you at your position, top 2 at your position, top 3 at your position, that's fair because the type of impact that you have for that squad, you deserve a new contract, you deserve a new deal. I know people don't like it, but I think what's fair is fair, and I think that's fair.
I mean, you're not under contract at work, but what do they say after 90 days, after 6 months?
We'll reevaluate. We'll see what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, reevaluate. People get promotions at work all the time. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't depend on how long you've been there. It's what is your impact? What is your value? My girl's been working at Google 2 years, man, and she saw a major pay increase after 9 months with Google.
Go B?
Because 100% because of what she was doing, because of what they didn't. It was, oh wow, we didn't know you could bring this element too. She added more value than she originally was asked to do. So realistically, if you're adding more value than you're originally asked to do and you're doing more things, it's a fair conversation. Why do we only pigeonhole athletes into, well, you're under contract and you're holding out? Nobody's holding out at work. You're just going and going and going, and then they tell you, here it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we're ready to move on from that. I mean,
said,
honestly,
Bray.
to me, like the Jahmyr Gibbs thing, it's just not real. This guy's so dialed in and wants to be a Lion.
Facts.
You don't move Monty without knowing. Like,
Here's a good situation. Year 2, Joe Burrow. You draft Joe Burrow after this ridiculous run for 1 year in LA. I guess he was there 2 years. But this ridiculous run and winning the national championship, you guys know all the stats and all the stories. You draft him. He gets hurt year 1. He come back year 2, takes you to the Super Bowl with the worst offensive line that I've ever seen in a Super Bowl outside of the Kansas City Chiefs, who were all injured the year they lost to Tom Brady. Like, you mean to tell me after 2 seasons and you get into the Super Bowl in Cincinnati of all places, that man didn't deserve an extension? He didn't deserve a pay raise? Like, sometimes you look at situations and you're like, I mean, I want to give you that, but you deserve it.
Yeah, you deserved it, and honestly, like, trying to lock him down for the future, that's another thing. And from my understanding, I think the only Detroit Lions player that's ever held out, or really held it, and I should say, was Anzalone, and he's no longer on the team. And that was, 2 years ago that he wanted that little extra cushion in his contract. But we've seen the track record from this front office, and even when I got a chance to spoke with Jahmyr Gibbs.
I was like, oh, wait a minute. Don't be breaking the legal news on my show.
Clickbait.
No, not that. Yeah, exactly. Clickbait.
Hey, Detroit Lions, Brad Lad, right. B-Lad, and all things he says have nothing to do with B-Lad.
Next thing you know, I'm gonna see it all over Twitter. Oh yeah, well,
shout out Loom.
Yeah, exactly. But he didn't see it, and I asked him, and he said, I'm boys with everybody. And we even seen it on social media how much he hangs out with Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and guys like that. So that is like kind of like an older brother role, and obviously you learn when you're in the league from guys like that as mentorship and stuff like that. St. Brown took a solid contract pretty early, and I'm honestly surprised we haven't extended Gibbs already yet, especially with all the guys that are kind of going off the board. I know the front office knows they have to do it, and they're going to have to do it quick.
This is the first real look of him being a feature back.
Yes, it is.
So I don't think it's a bad move to hold off.
I wouldn't be surprised if they pay him mid-season next year.
But we also have a track record too, because they paid some guys early. They paid Penei Sewell off-season. They paid Amon-Ra off-season. They paid Jack Candle this off-season. But they also paid Aiden Hutchinson during the season.
Yes.
Remember when they paid him, 2024? We want to see what this looks like. What did he do in 2024?
Yep.
He came out smoking. He was right there in defensive player of the year. In that conversation, what did the Lions do? We've seen it all. We've seen what we need to do. Let's go ahead and get this man his. What did he say in Rounders? Pay that man his money.
Pay him his money.
That's what they did. So I think that may be a situation where they're doing. Here it is. Drew Petzing, Mike Kafka. What can you cook up? 4 games in? Sign that dotted line.
Yep.
While we're wasting time. So
would not be surprised.
Speaking of why we are wasting time, let's not wasting time, man. There was one of our good friends, good buddies, brother to this show, originator on this show. He went out to Summer League for the Detroit Pistons. He got a chance to see your draft pick, Abuka Okorie, as well as others. Want to hear about him, how his journey went, and talk about these Detroit Pistons, who, as more and more comes out, flirting with being the 4th best team right now in the East, but it's way too early to talk about that. So see you in 2 seconds. Get a message in from. I always do this. Water hazard, Jay.
Let me tell you about Water Hazard, and B's join one right now. They are light carbonation with real vodka, natural flavors, and a little blue coloring to make it look nice. And you can get them at any R&J's location. When it's hot outside, you're golfing, you're on the lake this weekend, make sure you pick up a Water Hazard. They're the perfect cocktail for a hot summer smoky day, to be honest. So make sure you get in the drink game with our friends over at Founders.
Finally, life-enhancing LASIK surgery at a price you can afford. Michigan's most experienced eye surgeon, Dr. Yaldo, is offering the most advanced LASIK at just $1,699 per eye, regardless of your prescription. Imagine not just being free from contacts and glasses, but actually seeing better without them. This limited 2026 spring offer is thousands less than others charge. Go to YaldoEyeCenter.com for your free evaluation and save.
The next generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The young guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.
Listen, visibility may not be great outside. If it's not at home, though, it's time for you to make the call to the professionals at the Yaldo Eye Center. They've been doing it for over 30 years with over 100,000 successful procedures. We're talking about LASIK, an 8-minute painless procedure that will leave you seeing 20/20 by the very next day. And we've partnered up with them to offer you this unbelievable summer special, $16.99 per eye, regardless of prescription. They're going to hook you up. Get some more information, give them a call at 248-553-9800. They're Yaldo Eye Center.
And we are back. And speaking of summer, nothing better than watching. Hey, you heard it. You heard the undertone. You know who's in the building. You know who's on the microphone. It is the man in the back. It is Brandon Kool-Aid Dent. Oh, yeah.
Look how happy he looks in Vegas at summer camp, man.
Him and Kool-Aid have the same smile.
Who goes through the wall first, though?
It depends. If you're talking about Cade Cunningham, then it's Kool-Aid Brandon Dent. There it is. He's already come through the wall.
I was going to say, I like what you got on the desk there.
I appreciate that. Showing some love to Cade Cunningham, showing some love to Paul Bunyan. Move him over a little bit so you can see him in there. Anson was trying to grab that. I was like, whatever are you doing? But yeah, so anyway, you were out there. You had a good time. One, how was the trip? And second of all, let's dial into what the Pistons of Becco Corey look like, because everybody's itching to know what number 17 looked like.
Man, you know what? The trip was fire, man. It was fire. You know, definitely jet lagged right now. Body crash. I planned to be here yesterday. So woke up to a whole bunch of texts and missed calls and everything.
How late were you in the casino last night, Kool-Aid?
Hit the ground running, man.
I thought he wasn't going to acknowledge it for a second. I know better.
No, I'm not going to lie. No, we did, though, you know, because Queen Kool-Aid, she hit the road with me.
Hey.
Kid Kool-Aid was out there. And then and the baby was out there with us as well.
Baby Kool-Aid.
Yeah, baby Kool-Aid.
Was she holding the boom mic?
Hey, you know
Baby
what?
Kool-Aid?
She was out there getting content. She
go.
was. And she got an autograph from Abuko Corey, as did Kid Kool-Aid.
Did you ask him if it's a Corey or a Corey? Because we need to find out.
I didn't, but everybody from PR
But
to
when you
coaches
hear
called him
Stanford calls, they say a Corrier. And his name, like how it should be pronounced is that. And I'm worried that I've been saying it wrong. So I need an answer.
You know what? I'm gonna nail that down today. Absolutely today. But it was fire. We did get over to the Bellagio. We saw the water show at night. That's the best. That's the only time to see it. It was a fire environment, man. Fire atmosphere.
Did you make one gamble?
No.
Atta boy. You already won the life lottery. Look at you and your family. Why would you spend your money on it?
Bro, like, we had so many plans, but they support so much. Y'all know, like, from the beginning, they were there helping me set up the tripod, set up the cameras and all that at LCA Concourse. So I was like, you know what? I'll make sure Queen Kool-Aid can get to, and Kid Kool-Aid can get to some of these trips with me. They supported out there as well. We wound up just being too tired. By the time like 3, 4, 5 o'clock hit their time, we were out.
Jet lag, still thinking back here what it was like, the flight, the whole 9 yards, trying to catch up the time. And then you were thinking, there's a lot of work being done, mentally, preparation, etc.
Wanted to crush this. I knew I was going to have some opportunity to be able to have a little bit of a one-on-one with Abuka Okori, as well as the Summer League coach. Wanted to be able to take advantage of that and crush it as much as we could for the flag, Woodward Sports.
We did get that footage in you and Abuka Okori. Here's Kool-Aid interviewing Abuka Okori about his future as a Detroit Piston.
First and foremost, what's been your overall takeaway from Summer League, getting adjusted to the play and the physicality and everything?
To be honest, it's been really good. Summer League has really just been showing me what I need to work on to be ready for the regular season. And there are a couple good takeaways, like continuing to just get stronger, just different reads, different decisions, and just slowing the game down and just making better reads. So all the information I'm getting here, all the mistakes, all the good stuff, I'm just going to evaluate it and then be ready when the season starts.
What skill sets do you believe translate right away to the NBA for you?
Right away, I'll probably just say my quickness, my ability to break down my defender, and then just making the right reads, really.
Yeah, and I know you said you wanted to win, but other than winning, what were you hoping to achieve out here?
Really just playing my game, getting comfortable out there. Obviously, the NBA is the next level from college, bigger, stronger defenders, and just players overall. So, just getting used to it and just getting comfortable.
How impactful was it to have a couple players already in the organization like Isaac Jones, Bryce Williams, know the coaches, know some of the terminology, to have them here this week?
It's really good having some returners playing in the Summer League. They're helping me, showing me what I need to do and how I can continue to improve. And they're just showing us how to really just play Pistons basketball and just make winning plays.
Anything you want to say to the Pistons fans back in Detroit?
Let's go Pistons, and I'm looking forward to the season.
That is the number 17th pick overall, Abuka Okori, as we believe it to pronounce by Pistons PR. The first thing you see when you see him is you see a sharp individual. You can tell he's Stanford. You can tell all the nines. You start listening to the conversation. One of the big words I picked up on was evaluate. He's basically a processor. When he's going through his information, he's processing what he's talking about as it relates to his teammates that are there, a little bit of experience. He's processing, the Summer League, the information he's being given, and how he can use that and put that in wraps. When you watch Abuka Okori, who started off pretty hot, maybe had a couple rough spots in there, what is your overall assessment on how he played in Summer Leagues? What's your overall assessment of how he played in Summer Leagues?
You know what? Ultimately, I liked his honesty. And I think his honesty about dealing with the physicality and recognizing that that's where his weakness is. That's what I wanted to see. We know the skill set he had, but we wanted to see, are you going to be honest about what weaknesses are exposed, which generally happen with these players. Oftentimes we bump our gums about, oh my goodness, he scored 20 points in the first game. Or we find a way to make sense of, okay, if he gets over 10 points and he has a few stats across the stat sheet, look at him, he stuffs the stat sheet. I wanted to see, okay, what does he have to do to get ready for the regular season? Because he's going to be counted on to play a big role. And from that, you can see the skill sets and the traits are there. He just has to get stronger going into this regular season. Going into the training camp, for him to be able to realistically compete and prove that he's ready to be able to be really a contributing part of this rotation, he's going to have to bring it by the time training camp comes around.
One thing that he can't improve by the time he comes back to training camp is the height. And it was one of the things that was talked about before he was drafted. It was talked about post-draft, and it came up a little bit during his time in the Summer League. What is your say on the height? Obviously, for me, he has to go out there and be what he can be. But is his height an issue? Was it something that he has to overcome?
It's different, man, when you're sitting there and 1 year you're covering Cade in Summer League. You're covering Jalen Duren in Summer League, Asar Thompson. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow. I'm looking at this guy right there. Like right in his eyes. And you know what? But the 6'8" wingspan, something that Anson harped on, it's real. From a defensive standpoint and offensively. The height wasn't something that necessarily kept him, honestly, from having more success in the paint. I believe it was just more or less a strength. You saw with the 6'8" wingspan, his ability to contort and honestly get the shots up at the rim. One of the things that I noticed too is as the summer league went on, because of the lack of kind of strength he was able to impose there, you started seeing him wear down and start to take more floaters and things like that. And we did get to talk to his coach as well, Coach Scalzi, who is part of the Detroit Pistons organization, been here since 2023. I believe he's moving into a head coaching role with the Motor City Cruise as well. And so he has some clips where he talked about kind of the processes and what they're seeing from him, being able to, learn from the physicality as it goes on.
It's funny because Braylon came over to me when you first started talking, and he showed me honest assessment. He had it written right on his sheet.
Because Kool-Aid said honesty, so I was like,
yeah.
So same thing.
Yeah. And he's a computer. Like when you talk to him, when you see these interviews, everything that you see, the way that he moved through this summer league, he's a computer. He free-flowed through those first couple of games, and then he really dialed into trying to be the point guard of this team, looking less for his shot, looking more to distribute. Talking about that wingspan, 6th out of 441 summer league players leading in terms of steals. The guy, he can defend. He's got some issues with bigger guys that he's trying to defend, but he's so scrappy and understanding of passing lanes. He looks really, really good in that aspect. Getting back to the computer part of him, though, when you listen to him, there's some high-level nerdery going on there. The guy got into Harvard. The guy got into Stanford, and that's where he ended up playing.
Yes, sir.
And you listen to so many different summer league interviews with these young guys, and they're all focused on different things on his game. He's literally just talking about breaking down data, assessing, figuring out what, and that's what you want instead of guys like trying. He wasn't talking about, my shot wasn't falling.
No.
He wasn't talking about those things. Literally, he has embraced the role of being the backup and sometimes tandem point guard to one Cade Cunningham here in Detroit. And that's a big thing, just as big as the talent you can bring in is willingness as a rookie to accept and embrace your role on your new team.
You know what, and that's honestly the sentiments that the organization was echoing as well. They believe 100% in his skill set. It was cool after I did that interview with him. Trajan Langdon, he comes right out of another interview, daps me up, looks and sees me, the Detroit hat, the Woodward Sports, and then gives me, the kind of firm, reaffirmation on the shoulder and everything. It was pretty cool. So, man, good to see you here. And it was cool to see him then go right over to Abuko Corey and dap him up, give him a hug, and was like, man, we're really glad to have you here. And I wish I had the cameras rolling for that because you could tell they really, really, really believe in what he's going to be once they get more of the physicality figured out with him. And that's one thing that I actually believe in with this organization. Coming into this season, what was one of the last two seasons? What's some of the things we talked about? The physique. The only player that entered the season that wasn't here to end the season was the only person who had a lot of potential but did not work out. Or I'm not going to say it didn't work out. The results weren't necessarily there, and that was Bobby Klintman. So I do believe when you talk about the smarts and things of that nature, the processes, what I saw every time he would go to the rack and get knocked down and go to the rack and get knocked down, you're right, that computer aspect, you could see it in his face where he realized, I'm not solving this here. So I do have to play a certain way to still be effective, to your point, Anson, when he switched the role halfway through. And I talk about that a little bit with Coach Scalzi. But I think he knows once he gets that man weight, once he goes and works out tough, I think he knows now, bro, you got to go work. It's not that you're not talented, but you got to go hit that weight room. I did put that in an article as well on woodwardsports.com.
Thanks for setting that clip up for us, man. And here's Coach Scalzi and Kool-Aid talking about Abuko Corey and what he can be for this team and what he needs to work on.
No, but good to see you again, Coach.
Yeah.
Just Abuko Corey, how did you see him adjust to the physicality, not just in this game, but throughout the week here in Summer League?
Yeah, no, he's resilient. He's rubbery. He gets thrown to the floor. He bounces right back up. That's awesome about him. We appreciate him. He's got a spirit to him. He's relentless. He's coming at you. When he starts to really learn NBA spacing and really learn where all his looks are, it's going to be dangerous.
It seemed like that was like a microcosm of that in this game.
Yeah.
First half, physicality. He was trying to find, search. But in the second half, it seemed like he picked his spots a little bit better. Less of the floaters and more of getting into the body and picking up fouls. Is this something that you expect he will continue to get better with as the regular season approaches and he gets through training camp?
Goddamn, really well said. You know the game well, so that's obvious. Also, I thought on a team scale, that was kind of the deal for everyone. We got punched in the mouth early. The group responded. I was proud of them. We need to string together some success. We need to win a game, obviously, to feel great about it. The reality is, we started to play 38 minutes of Pistons basketball after the first couple, and Abuko was a huge part of that. And like you said, his resiliency and his bounce back.
First of all, shout out to Coach Scalzi for realizing and understanding that Brandon Kool-Aid didn't know
Kool-Aid.
ball. Shout out to the coach for knowing that Kool-Aid knows ball. When you know why I love that? Because when you know ball, people stay a little longer. Yeah. They answer more questions. The conversation is a little more thorough. You build a little bit better relationship. They stop lumping you into the other people around the city that don't know what the F they're talking about. So shout out to Kool-Aid for always being on point and always doing his thing.
Bringing the double D to Sin City, baby.
You are a wild boy, and that was a wild comment. He talked about spirit. You talked about spirit in there, and it's something that I want to talk about. You talk about being from Stanford. You talk about the computer. He's a processor. He's all these things, the data analytics, blah, blah, blah. I need some edge. I need a little bit of grit. Because this is Detroit. We talk about the physicality. We talk about defense. We talk about, like, this is what the city is. Like, that spirit. Is that spirit a little bit of that other side that we haven't seen yet and that we're going to see and that he'll be fine, he'll fit right in here? Is that spirit what he's alluding to?
I do. Okay. Ultimately, when you look at the role that he's playing here, it's going to differ when you're talking about putting a player next to Cade Cunningham and the type of opportunities he's going to get. I do believe, shout out to Dennis Jenkins and to Jeremy Hart, his trainer, and all the work they put in to get to this point. There's a lot of credit that goes towards them, but how much better of a situation does it make it when you do have a Cade Cunningham here? That was one of the first things and reasons why they said they drafted him here. Not just to be a connector, but how much he'd be able to elevate the play of everybody else around him. Okay. And that's what you've seen the last few years. So I do believe you bring him here in a specific or a particular role, I think he is in a position to be able to take advantage of the space, similar to what we saw with Dennis Jenkins last year. But you're talking about a player who can really, really, really freaking score the ball at a high level. You know, so that's why I'm saying when you get that strength there, I get it. In terms of where he might be projecting right now in terms of a backup at best in most people's minds, the skill set and the things that you see kind of being there, because we were front and center, the first thing that everybody said was, nope, the skill's there. I can hear other people. Every team that they played, bro, like all the different dignitaries and such are there. All the front office personnel are there. Yeah. And they're all saying the same thing. Yo, when he figures out this physicality thing, yo, can you imagine if he's there playing off ball or this, that, and the other? They're saying this stuff. And so that's what I think everybody sees now, and that's why I continue to harp on, like you said, he's going to have to bring the grit and the physicality himself. That's something he's going to have to go and work on. That's nothing anyone can coach. I do believe he has gritty play to him. It just looks lost in the sauce when you're not as physical as everybody else out there. And that, to me, I got to be honest with you, that to me was a shock to me. I wasn't prepared for that. That was one thing where you look at him in college, he adjusted well coming from high school to college. But this was one thing at the summer league level where he looked outmatched in large spurts of the game, and he was able to be thrown off from the physicality. They were double teaming him and things of that nature too after that first, two summer league games. So that was a shock for me. I gotta admit that.
Anson, as somebody that's watched Buka Corey for the past 8 months, essentially now. Is that something you saw? Is that something that shocked you a little bit too, or did you see?
No, I've been telling you guys. I was sitting in with you at Woodward. Pistons, Kool-Aid, just before you left, and I told you that this guy's part of the big five.
Yeah.
We have a big three. This is four, and that move that is still coming. It is coming. This guy's here to stay. Now, in terms of actually becoming a starter alongside Cade, think Jason Terry, 6'2", 185.
That's a really good comp.
Got a little bit of hardware on his hand. You look at his time in Dallas and Atlanta before that, my man was, every year putting up like 5 and 19 or 19 and 5 or better. And similar size. Came into the league, struggled his first year, 8 points. Got muscled around. The physicality was a little too much with him. You watched him fill out from what he was. He was a cerebral player that used his speed and his ability to score around the rim with already what turned out to be a great outside three-point shot. As much as I'd love to say that this is Ja Morant, and that's what I was on record earlier on, he does not play above the rim the way that Ja Morant does. But settling in and where his role will end up being here with the Pistons, because he's going to be alongside Cade Cunningham for a long time, this is not your set it and forget it point guard of the future. This is your Jason Terry, a future six-man of the year and a member of your starting lineup, many different iterations of what you might have.
I love the example. I love the conversation. I'm just going to say it like this. I hope he's not Jason Terry.
I hope he's more. Sure.
And no, not even in that sense. The reason why I say I hope he's not Jason Terry. Look, I know Jason Terry. I remember that University of Arizona team he was on. Him, Miles Simon, Mike Bibby. They were elite. Won national championship. He stayed that next year and then came out that following year. So I definitely am well versed. It took him a while. His second season, he averaged 20 and 5. No, I'm talking about in terms of to be that sixth sense. He still was a leader. That six-man role, that 6-man role was like year 11, year 10, year 9.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it was year 9, the 5 years in a row that he was truly that 6-man. Again, this is a guy that to me, if you took Jason Terry back in the day and you put him in now, with how his mind is and the programs that you have, the footwork, because like the step backs and the step asides and things that Abuka Okori does with the ball, that's because he's in this new generation.
Okay,
I do think that he can be Jason Terry and much more dynamic. But at the same point, if he provides that steady 6-man for the next 5-6 years alongside Cade, you got yourself a steal at 18.
Yeah, because outside of Jason Terry getting dunked on by LeBron James, like when you look at his career, the career is full with nothing of him getting better and him being a player that you can trust 1,000%.
Yeah, and I was going to say, look, you got to paint the picture this way. When you look at the skill set, look at the other young players on this team and opportunities that they've been able to take advantage of. Abuka Okori is somebody who, if you swing the ball to him the same way that we've seen Ron Holland get the ball swung to him, I actually feel very comfortable about him getting downhill and actually finishing at the rack or picking up the foul shots, the free throw attempts. So it's like these are certain things. When you look at like Dennis Jenkins, Marcus Sasser, Ron Holland, and the roles that those players have played, then you look at Abuka Okori and the skill set that he brings to the table. This is where I say, you know what, don't close the door on him just yet in terms of the physicality and the grit. He has a skill set and he has a unique ability to be able to put the ball in the hoop from behind the arc. You know, I know he didn't shoot the way people wanted to see him shoot, but when he gets into that paint, he's able to make things happen. And earlier in the week, I have like other clips as well I'm going to be posting the Woodward Pistons where Coach Scalzi talks about his ability to process, and he talks about himself process the reads when he gets into the paint. That was one thing that I was looking at very, very, very keenly. How is he assisting those shooters? And if you look at him from that standpoint, he's right. There's not a lot of people who are able to stay in front of him off of a pick. So now you're talking about taking him up to the big squad with Cade off ball and him being able to run a pick and roll with Jalen Duren and now a couple more shooters out there. This is a situation where he is going to be a player that contributes to the team year one because of the makeup of the team around Cade Cunningham and because of just how much more that'll do for him. Take a little bit of that pressure off. Obviously, he's playing the star role in Summer League, and they were double teaming him the same way we see teams do to Cade in the regular season. But obviously, he gets that physicality. I think he's going to be okay, especially when you consider the role he's going to play here. Much better IQ guy. I like Dennis Jenkins, but there was too much of when he got into the middle ground, he didn't know what to do. And there were turnovers, missed shots, chucks. If you look specifically at Abuka Okori, out of all the things you can dislike, this is one of the things I promise you guys should really like. His ability to make the right decision when he got into the paint and got like free throw line area. That's what I loved about it. So now you think about the pick and rolls, hitting the shooters, hitting Cade off ball. That's the type of stuff that you need if you're talking about a Pistons team moving in the right direction. It's a little bit of what Dennis Schroeder was able to bring here when Trajan Langdon brought him in too.
Yeah, well said. Like when you go into situations that aren't necessarily comfortable for you, when you don't have an actual plan of action, when you don't have something you can rely on, you start to do creative and crazy, you know what. And those creative and crazy, you know what things, they lead to turnovers, they lead to miss, and they lead to messed up runs. So I agree with you on that part. Let's take a quick commercial break. Kool-Aid, you got a second to stay with us?
Yeah.
All
better.
Right, good.
Definitely. We got to talk about LeBron.
Well,
LeBron James.
Well, there it is. Adam Silver made he made an interesting comment. I think there is some validity to what he said. Well, to get into that, and also the East. The East is still up for grabs. It is fun to talk about the East. I really feel like when we were talking about the NFC when the Lions started to make their climb in 2022 and 2023. But we'll get back to you guys in a second. First, let's get a message in from Mortgage Pro.
That's right, guys. It's time to change your life because we know you've been thinking about it. You've probably been talking about it. So now it's time to act. I'm going to make it real easy for you. There's a number, 248-416-1361, or head to mtgopros.com, guys. They are changing people's lives. We've seen their employee and company culture firsthand at their block party. This is the type of organization you want to work for, guys. They are Mortgage Pros, and they are here to change your life. If you want to change your night, give put some buddies in your belly, guys, and we want to save you 20% when you're doing it. Head on over to buddiespizza.com, put in the Woodward 20 code. You're going to get that 20% off. But it also works for their catering. So you want to plan a pizza party this weekend? We're going to save you up to $200 off of that catering. They are the original since 1946. They're Buddy's Pizza.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
It's game on at Art & Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art & Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
This is a hungry bear. This is Carl and Jeff. Carl isn't worried because he has focused energy to spare thanks to Thrive energy pouches. Jeff didn't use Thrive when Carl offered. The bear is happy about that. Don't just survive, thrive.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Home buying season, so it is the time to get in touch with Chad and Chris over at Supreme Lending. A lot of different programs available, amazing opportunities for you, so you want to call them early. They can explain the whole process as well as what might be available to you with just a little extra work on your end. So give them that call early. Chad, Chris, see the numbers there. They are Supreme Lending. They can save you that 0% down payment. Those programs are available, but if you mention Woodward Sports sending you, we're going to save you up to $500 off of your appraisal. So give Chad and Chris at Supreme Lending a call today.
We were excited to welcome Icon Auto Repair to the Woodward Sports situation, but you know, they're not new to the business anymore. They are a part of the team, and that's why we want you. If you get into an accident, man, if you get into a situation where your vehicle needs repairs, make sure you trust the team that we trust, and we trust the team at Icon Auto Repair and Collision with 3 convenient Metro Detroit locations: Madison Heights, Shelby, as well as Pontiac. They got you covered. They got you covered. Not only that, they offer free cars, loaners, and even offer to pay your deductible. I don't know about you. It seems like a hell of a situation. It seems like a hell of a team that I can trust. For all your auto repairs, make sure you go to Icon Auto and Collision. And we back. Hey, always good to have Kool-Aid in the studio as we jump into excuse me, the second hour of the show. How's everybody feeling out there?
Good, man. Having fun today. It's always good to have him back. We've been wanting to talk to him all week. You know I have been.
Yeah.
I need my summer league update. I actually missed the last game, got a chance to look through the box scores, but there's some interesting stuff beyond the summer league. A lot of people thought Pistons were done.
Let me ask you this question, Kool-Aid, before we get back into the Pistons stuff, as they need to make moves moving forward. What was the weather like from up there? As you've come back, you've landed. We got the wildfires that are coming over from the Ontario province, coming over to Detroit. The weather as it looks like the sky. How was that yesterday? Because you flew and landed when it was at its worst.
I had no idea it was even going on.
Gotcha.
Like it was crazy to be on a plane and everybody is like, is a plane like? Do y'all smell?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
We didn't know, and then it's an ominous just overcast. I'm like, we didn't have this in the
West Coast,
in the weather and all that, like in the forecast. So it was like we checked the weather to see like a couple days ago what it was when we were gonna get back, and so to fly in and kind of see all of that, it didn't even hit me when we landed. We're praying people, and we're like, man, praise God, we got in safe and everything, but the smoke was just a little weird, and everybody was a little freaked out about it. When we got onto the tunnel to kind of come out, that's when we heard people on the runway basically telling us, no, there's like wildfires, this, that, and the other. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So it was crazy to kind of see and experience first and foremost, and then driving in today, it felt like it was even worse. And it's a crazy thing, man. Stay safe out there, people, for real.
Well, look, definitely glad that you made it safe. Definitely glad that there was nothing that interfered or complicated the flight because of that turbulence and that weather. Glad you made it safe, my brother. Getting back to the conversation that is basketball, Anson, one of your faves, if you will. The East is still up for grabs, man. And one of the interesting things about the East, there's a player that probably is going to make himself home on the East side. He's been there before, and he is LeBron James. 100%. I think we'll get into the speculation about Golden State, but I think it's going to be on the Eastern Conference side, if you will. Adam Silver and the NBA, they're tired. They're tired of waiting for so long because they have to make that NBA schedule.
Christmas game's important, Bray.
It is. It's sponsorship.
Report.
But you know what it is? It's sponsorship dollars. It's like,
That's
hey,
right.
look, who are the teams? Where's it going to be at? This is where we're going to be at. But LeBron, any inkling, any idea on where he is going to go? Because any team he goes to, he's going to make them a better team, whether it's Philly, whether it's Miami, whether it's Toronto, whether it's Cleveland, where a lot of people are slating him to go. Any inkling, and what would you think?
I feel like it's either Cleveland or Miami, and
I agree.
It's one of those two. If his heart's in it, I believe it's Cleveland. If his head's in it, I believe it is Miami. You go to Miami with what they have right now, and you're talking about probably one of your best, trios in his career. I get it; it's at the end of his career, but I do believe it'll present him a good opportunity in the East that a lot of people think is wide open to get something done. I just don't trust in Cleveland with James Harden and Donovan Mitchell for that to be enough with LeBron James. I do believe he needs somebody out there like a Bam, like a Giannis, who's still really able to control and dictate things.
Rebound.
Rebounds, and physicality. I feel like that's a better pairing in terms of forming that big three with LeBron James. I feel like it's Miami.
Yeah, LeBron James over the last, you just said the last 3 teams, he's gotten used to playing with that big power forward / center that can move and play like that, whether it was Chris Bosh, whether it was Kevin Love, whether it was Anthony Davis. Now he's looking for one of those. I think he has that in Giannis and Bam.
But look, man,
there.
when Pat Riley's done with you, he's done with you, right? And we get that. But this time around, if he calls you into the room,
but here's the thing.
You have no choice.
They both need it.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
Pat
right now,
Riley needs it just as much as LeBron, and it's from this reason. You won your championship when you came and took over for Van Gundy. Yes, you won 2 with LeBron, and then you were able to usher him out the door and establish that it's your team, it's your way or the highway. But you got back twice with Eric Spoelstra, who's an excellent coach. However, you didn't have the manpower to do it. And realistically, you know how ego was a conversation with Steve Eisenman yesterday. The ego for Pat Riley is I done just got my statue up in L.A. with the Lakers. I'm still holding on. We still have a squad. We still have opportunity. I can mend my fence for the betterment of another ring. And if we may not vibe or may not rock, but right now their things align. Their missions align. And the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I think right now they could be friends to each other.
I've read a lot of things that all the big hitters in L.A. are ecstatic that he's leaving.
Wow.
True.
There are not many teams that want him, flat out. The Pistons would never bring him in, okay? This is Cade's team. They're not taking the reins from him, not even for a person that some idiots call the GOAT. LeBum, LeBaby, I got you, Black Casper. Fact of the matter is there's only a few destinations that are possible.
I think
Cleveland, of course.
Yeah, everybody, wherever he's going, everyone is under the assumption they know it's the guy or the star on that team's team because there hasn't been his
Does
team.
LeBron?
Yeah, because he wasn't demanding L.A. Like he hasn't been.
What? I'm sorry.
He hasn't been the number 1 player in L.A. for the last.
But it was his team. It was never in question whose team it was. It was never Luka's. It's never been AD's.
I disagree.
The franchise was his.
I disagree because he's no longer in L.A. and Luka is.
Yeah, but they would have kept him if he decided to stay. They're happy to see him gone because of what he is. But he is too big of a...
Anthony Davis has been the number 1 player on that team even before Luka
You
got
can
there.
tell me that statistically, and I can agree with you, but the fact of the matter is, in the huddle, in the locker room, everywhere else, LeBron's in charge. And
That's fair.
If you bring that to Philly, you got to hope that Tyrese Maxey's okay with that, with Edgecombe being okay with that. I don't think it flies in Boston. I think that in Golden State, you have really the only player in the NBA that could welcome LeBron without anybody questioning whose team it is, and that is Steph Curry. Everywhere else that LeBron goes, outside of Denver maybe, we all know he's going to come in there and puff his chest and this is my team. And the fact of the matter is where is LeBron most comfortable, as leader or as Robin? And my man gets to be Robin to Steph Curry. I don't think he ends up in the middle of the country. I think that you're right, that the East is the best place for him, Braylon. I do think that Miami could work. You made a deal with the devil for a small window. You may as well bring in Lucifer as well. All right? And then you got Philly. Whoa. You got a couple other squads on the East Coast. Oh, I'll call it. Yeah, throw your stuff up in the air. We see you, little baby. But no, listen, he's staying with the money and on a coast.
And you know what though? But I know that. Hey, Kool-Aid. But I know that to be personal because I guarantee I know this because I was there that night, and I know who else was there that night. The infamous night where LeBron scored 26 of the last 29. No. I know who was there. He's to my left because I was also in the building. And if I was that big of a fan, I would also be pissed about it. And I get it.
I was a kid.
I get it. But no, Kool-Aid, back to that question. Where in the East could you see him actually really fit? Because I like Miami for him in the story, and I think there's a reason why everybody's complaining they don't have depth, they don't have this. It is also July freaking 17th.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? Your depth and things of that nature, the interest that other people have to want to go and take pay cuts, they change if LeBron goes down to Miami because it's a party every night. You're looking already at what media is saying, especially if this could be his last ride, which means if you're a part of this thing, how much does that help your personal brand, your personal value? That's why part of me wonders if that's why Demar Derozen hasn't signed anywhere. Some of these other people are sitting back looking and saying, you know what? Because you know what? It could be a party if they do Toronto or if they do Miami type of a thing. And that's where I do believe with Miami, specifically those stars, they're ones that pay homage to other stars above them. So you don't have this kind of chief thing going on where there's too many in the on the boat as it relates to Bam and Giannis. They're going to pay their respects to LeBron, but I do believe LeBron wants to be passive. He just doesn't want to be called the Robin. And that's where I believe strategically Miami fits. Over in Cleveland, as soon as you hear this noise of LeBron potentially picking Cleveland, what do you hear? New contract for Donovan Mitchell. A banger. You know what I mean? Like those are the types of things I'm talking about where does that work there? You know, he wants to be. He ran J.B. Bickerstaff out of town.
Yeah, this is true. You know where you can't play golf in October. You can't play golf in October in Ohio. You can't play golf. I mean, you can, but you can't. You can't play golf in Ohio. Excuse me. You can't play golf in October in Toronto, nor can you play golf in October in Philly and really enjoy your round. But you can in Florida.
I'll put $20 right now. He's the Golden State Warrior. Who wants that action? You with me? The Spartans are together. Where the Wolverines at?
But doesn't that ruin the legacy?
Yeah.
Where do you think he goes, Justin?
I'm saying he goes back to Miami.
I think he's going to Miami.
I think he's going back to Miami.
Did you see the clip of Steve Kerr leaving the other day, just a day ago? And they said, you getting LeBron? He said, yep. Put that on Twitter.
Isn't that conceding the legacy war, though, to Steph Curry? You're going to his homegrown team in which he never left. They won primarily with their own drafted players. I feel like you're conceding that whole legacy war to Steph.
I agree with you because realistically, when you have the conversation about LeBron and Mike and LeBron, when you had that conversation, individuals on the Michael Jordan side, I'm on that side, but I don't do this, even though it's funny. You know the fun thing they point out? They point out that LeBron didn't even dominate the 2010s. And they bring that out, and they bring up Steph Curry, and they bring up Golden State, and they bring up the things that he did. So Kool-Aid, you make a lot of sense in this regard. If I already know that I'm fighting this never-ending battle, this never-ending saga of the moves that I've made, who I went and teamed up with, I don't know if at the very end I'm going to team up with Steph Curry. As much as I love him, as much as I think he's the best shooter, as much as Draymond is always on my podcast, and we act like we don't like each other, but we're really best friends behind closed doors.
So your last year, you get to go and catch balls from Johnny Manziel and a couple other buddies, play with Lamar Woodley, and you're going to pass it up?
Yeah. What?
But Johnny Manziel's actually awesome. He's an MVP.
I got the odds
if there
here.
are other situations going on that I think are better, and I don't think that's his best situation. I think when you look at that situation, you got Steph. You know he's going to be in shape. You know he's going to do all the right things. He's still aging. You're talking about Draymond Green. Draymond Green has
Giannis and LeBron getting along?
Yeah.
How do you see that?
Because when Giannis Antetokounmpo goes to that podium and he makes the conversation 7 years ago, I don't like the guys teaming up. I think that's weak. I think when they team up, I don't want to team up.
Sure.
I don't like guys in the offseason. I don't hang out with guys in the offseason, blah, blah, blah. Now his ass is in Miami, and he wants guys to come play with him. So that initial conversation from Giannis, which I believe was true at the time, like he didn't want it. He wanted to go get it out the mud, and he did. Now he's at the situation where he wants to get another one. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, and we're both trying to get championships. So I think it's a different Giannis that you're looking at.
$20 on Golden State.
$20 on Golden State would pay. It would be it's plus 220. So
Well, you got the odds for like the top 5 team landing spots for him?
Yes, I do.
Let's hear them.
Number 1 is Cleveland at plus 194. Wow.
The romance story.
Bro, there's so many Cleveland idiots losing money on that bet right now. They're going to be double brokenhearted. He's going to take them to the little boys and girls club and be like, I'm taking my talents to the Bay.
They're promising him a statue if he comes back. I'm like, bro, he's getting that. Like, what are we
promising a statue? Like first of all, he won in Cleveland. That's the hardest shit to do.
He don't have nothing else to prove.
You think I'm lying?
No.
Ask the Cleveland Indians about that.
As you wear the Cleveland Browns.
Like, you think I'm BSing. The Cleveland Indians had not won in 100 years, and they lose the World Series to a team that hadn't won in 107 years. Like, it's just Cleveland, bro. Like, he won a championship in Cleveland. I played for the Browns. It ain't happening.
It's Cleveland, bro.
Cleveland tried to tell me it was my fault. They tried to tell me it was Kellen Winslow's fault. They tried to tell me it was, what was the white boy running back that they had for Peyton Hillis' fault. They tried to tell me it was Joe Hayden's fault, Joe Thomas's fault.
Cover boy.
It doesn't matter. Ain't nobody winning championships in Cleveland. He came baake and won a championship in Cleveland. Whether they cheated or not, don't matter. He got the chip for it, and it's one of the greatest championships of all time. So, you can't win in Cleveland, and he did. He's going to get a statue. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Number 2 is Anson's Golden State Warriors at plus 220. Number 3 is Miami at plus 420.
Big jump.
Number 4 is Philadelphia at plus 560. And then number 5 is Minnesota at plus
That's intriguing.
2,400.
Wow.
And then at 6th best odds, and I'm going to read 2 more, is the New York Knicks
Peasants.
at 5,000 odds. And then to go to Detroit,
I was hoping. You know they're on there somewhere.
plus 9,900.
There you go.
The second worst
Someone
odds
who
to land.
understands our franchise.
The only thing that I would say against this, and we can pull, I feel like we got off talking about LeBron. Everybody hates LeBron in the chat. The only thing I can see him not going to Miami for is there's only so much give and take in Pat Riley. He's an old school dude. And what I mean by that, wherever LeBron James goes, Bronny's coming too. And Pat Riley is not going to be in that office like, yeah. You come, you sign down line. Yeah, we'll make sure he has the right.
And then we'll sign you, and then we'll draft your his brother.
No,
too.
that ain't happening with Pat Riley.
Yeah,
I can see it. I can see it in Golden State and some other places. So to your point, I see that side of it. The Bronny side of it affects where LeBron goes, and maybe that's what's holding his decision making up is his son
negotiating his son's contract. I see it. Yeah. I think that Steve Kerr, Steph, Draymond, if he ends up staying there, Jimmy Butler, all of these guys are kind of on the way out tour right now. It all makes sense. They're willing to concede some things to bring Yaxel in and to have a Bronny. I think it is the perfect situation. He doesn't have to move his whole life. It's a short flight up to the Bay Area. You stay on the coast where you can make all these movies. I don't see Miami happening.
Making movies.
I'm telling you, dude, him and Maverick, bro. Him and Maverick Carter, that's what they do. They've got a massive multi-million, maybe even billion-dollar franchise at this point.
You'll be into some massive movies by LeBron.
You know I'm a huge fan, bro. You know I just love LeBron.
Well, I am a huge fan of the NFL. Then when we get back, B-Lad has some NFL content too. You got some games.
I also have a little tidbit in as well that I just saw on my phone that I'm going to add in there as well about Sam Laporta.
Oh
boy.
It's heating up. We got some interesting conversation. Stay with us. We'll come back from the break. We'll get into that. But first, give me a message from Mad Pax, if you will, Justin.
Let me tell you about Mad Packs. Mad Packs is the premium pre-roll in the cannabis game. We got 1.5 and 1.3 gram pre-rolls. That would be the Boom Shakalaka and the High-Low pre-roll, respectively. Both Keef-coated, live resin infused, and they smoke great. No canoeing, just a straight, clean smoke. So make sure you tap into Mad Packs at a dispensary near you. Go to their website. Please check out where you can find their product around the great state of Michigan.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Experience summer in Detroit with pro soccer at Keyworth Stadium. Every Detroit City FC match brings a new reason to show up early and stay late. Tickets available now at deadcityfc.com.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Jakes with 80 TVs wall to wall. This is the place for you, man. Not only that, it's not just a sports bar menu. They have exclusive things on that menu that make them a little bit elevated in my book, if you will, but also just pull up for the sporting events, man. It is fun. It is a great vibe. It's a great place to catch a game. Doesn't matter what game it is. Red Wings, Pistons, Tigers, Lions, you name it.
FIFA, UFC.
You can catch it there. FIFA, UFC, they do all the things. They do events around the things. Scan their QR code. Go visit them online. Check them out on the A&J mobile app. This is the place for you. And I didn't even mention the 22 beers on tap. It's summer season, so you know they can get those summer shandies and everything ready for you. Got to do it, and do it at Art & Jakes. Great conversation with Kool-Aid. Love the energy and excitement. Forgot to ask him this on camera as we welcome you back into the Braylon Edwards Show. Forgot to ask about who else impressed him on camera. He told me off camera it was Malik Thomas, who we had the pleasure of talking about 2 days ago. B-Lad.
Put Justin in the GM booth. Come on.
You guys got some NFL chats, man. I think the chat is feeling some NFL energy. Let us know what you have rolling.
I'm feeling some NFL. Justin, you want to take them through what you got going on first?
Yes, I can do that. So, sports agent extraordinaire. I don't know if he's actually a sports agent extraordinaire. However, Corey Joel has come out with a list of players who could be possibly franchise tagged that going into the 2027 offseason. And he listed Sam Laporta as a possible candidate for the Detroit Lions. Braylon Edwards, your thoughts?
Possible contract decision for Sam Laporta.
Franchise tag.
Makes sense.
It does make sense.
It makes a lot of sense. I think you're looking at these contracts like Jahmyr Gibbs is a guy that you want. You're going to have to extend. It is what it is. Regardless of how smart a player is, somebody can give me 1,000 reasons why it doesn't make sense to extend him, why it should be done later, why they should franchise him, running back shelf life. He is your identity. He is the most exciting player in the game per them, and this is what they want to do. Sam Laporta, you're realizing the boom in the tight end industry world. That the tight end is literally the second grossest position right now as it means to the new engagement. Players wanting to play tight end. People want to get in the end zone. People want to score. And you don't have to play wide receiver anymore to do it. You don't have to play running back to do it anymore. You can play tight end. There are tight ends coming in each year being productive at a high level, and you can snag them in the second, third, fourth, fifth round. Every team carries them. So I think if the Lions are looking at it from that standpoint, then why not just franchise Sam Laporta, pay him the money in this season. You'll need him for this season. You'll need him because you saw you missed him last year. And then this whole season, you got 11 months to make a decision and figure out what a replacement can do. You've seen it before. They didn't franchise T.J. Hockenson, but they drafted Sam Laporta and moved on from T.J. Hockenson.
Yeah, they were happy to move away from Hockenson. I don't think he was happy here, and he wasn't one of their guys. I think that Lions fans don't value Laporta the same way that the franchise does. And then you double down and you bring in Drew Petzing. the tight end guy.
Right.
And again, I love Jahmyr Gibbs. What he does on the field is electric. Very few people can do it. But you saw what happened to the offense without Laporta. Yeah. And the fact is that tight ends have their best years in their late 20s. Running backs don't. If you're asking me, I'm leaning towards giving the franchise tag to your running back and seeing how long he lasts. Because you can pretty much extend Laporta, and assuming health, you can guarantee that guy's going to fulfill that contract. When a running back falls off, it's immediate. It seems like in the current NFL. So for me, people don't like it when I say it, because I have similar views on him and Jamo. I know you preach speed, and both of those guys have it. But I also think that similar profiles can be found later on in the draft. You look at an A-Chan, you look at a James Cook. These are guys that are taken in the 3rd, 4th round that do a lot of the same things that Jahmyr Gibbs does.
Okay, with that being said, I didn't even know we were going to go to that part. I thought we were just talking about this. But since you went there, I'll ask this. Name me the player that's been drafted in the last 25 years that does what Jahmyr Gibbs does.
Well, again, what I'm saying is there's not a lot of people that does exactly to the level that he does it.
Because I haven't seen it.
But we're talking about war, and we're talking about saving a little bit of money to when you have a guy like a Chase Brown or a guy like a James Cook, which is an upper class version of him. It maybe not, or middle class maybe even, but when you look at Laporta, and I know there's a lot of really good tight ends coming into the league right now, but the guy can block, the guy can catch, move downfield, and he's an absolute red zone weapon. Without him, Jahmyr Gibbs is not as good. I believe that you can get a guy that you put in Jahmyr's position, and it doesn't necessarily hurt Laporta's game the way that it does if you take Laporta out, hurting Jahmyr's game.
I mean, I think to a certain extent, Jahmyr Gibbs is generational talent, and tight ends are a way more replaceable position as far as performance goes.
Until they're 28 and considered generational.
Yeah, I understand.
Because Kelsey wasn't at this point in his career.
Okay.
That is true, but he also didn't have the shot, though. He didn't have you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like,
But that's fine. Like Travis Kelce was a special individual that played with a super special individual. And if you look at what they've done, they haven't had a lot of all-pro wide receivers. In fact, they've had none. They haven't had a lot of Pro Bowl running backs. In fact, they've had none. What they've had is great offensive line. True. They've had great tight end, and you got the best you got the best quarterback in the business.
They did have Tarik Hill.
Well, they had Tarik Hill for a second, 100%. And then after that, before that, they didn't. And then after that, they were trying to find other versions of that. And they won before that, and they won after that. But what I'm saying with Sam Laporta, like, the team is still in place. You got the quarterback, you got the running back, you got 2 wide receivers. Like, you don't need.
In 5 years, I'd rather have Sam Laporta than Jahmyr Gibbs.
I understand that.
And if you franchise a guy, you're going to lose him.
But you're also having that conversation saying that I'm gonna keep Sam Laporta now. We'll extend this out. We'll make this a thing because I'm waiting to see what he's going to be, and I know he'll last longer. However, are you going to get that immediate reaction right now? So you're going to give up Jahmyr Gibbs for peanuts and then keep Sam Laporta because he's the guy that's going to be very generational later. But what's the running back situation? So now you're going out trying to find a Jahmyr Gibbs. You've waited a very long time to have a running back. And please don't parade any of these running backs that you had before Barry Sanders.
If you go back to Breece Hall, are you extending him at $15 million?
Am I extending Breece Hall? We're having different conversations, though.
No, we're not. Because I'm looking at the top 5 paid running backs in the league.
But I'm not looking at Breece Hall's situation in a failing New York Jets with a failing quarterback, with a failing offensive line, and they've been there for 10 years. I know because I know that team. I'm looking at the Detroit Lions, who you guys tell me they've drafted so well. We have pillars for life. You just drafted Blake Miller, your guy. He ain't going nowhere. Penei Sewell, he ain't going nowhere. You just paid K. Mays, and you expect him to take that leap as a center on this team. You also have Tate Ratledge, who he's going to be a better version. And whatever happens at that left guard, whether it's Christian Mahogany, whether it's Miles Frazier, you have an offensive line in place for a very long time. You have your running back that you can have in place behind this offensive line with 2 weapons on the outside. Like, you have a guy, it's a different situation. Breece Hall is in a situation, he's had 9 quarterbacks in 4 years. I'm being a little over-exaggerative, but I can name 6 off the top of my head, and he's had a revolving door of offensive linemen. So, no, I wouldn't extend Breece Hall in that situation, although he's the best player in the offense, not named Garrett Wilson.
I mean, when the line is not good, Jahmyr disappears.
But the line isn't in the way that it used to be because there's no
saying,
aging left tackle.
With the good, I'm acknowledging your point in saying that if the line is that good in the future, you don't have to have the best running back in the league.
You do.
I don't think you do.
No, Anson's right at that aspect. Like if you have an elite top 5 offensive line, you don't have to have a very high valuable running back behind them. You can kind of work it out with like your, I guess you could say like good running backs like a Chase Brown, like he mentioned earlier, or even like a Jalen Warren.
I disagree because they don't make this team special.
Well, they don't make it special, but they get the job done though. At the end of the day, they still have over 1,000 rushing yards, and usually they're.
But you had Jahmyr Gibbs and still couldn't get the job done.
Oh, trust me, I would much rather take Jahmyr Gibbs over Jalen Warren and whoever I just said, Chase Brown. 100%.
You can't insert James Cook in here and think he's going to be the same guy without Josh Allen. A lot of what James Cook does is Josh Allen.
Everyone's in their different
like
situation, 100%. I understand what you're saying as well. But as far as the running back position goes alone, especially in today's age, we've seen it before. The Dallas Cowboys have a pretty decent offensive line. Javonte Williams just rushed for 1,300 yards. Javonte Williams is not Jahmyr Gibbs. So, like to Anson's point, that is true. But at the same time, we've never seen generational talent like Jahmyr Gibbs since Barry.
You know what? And fine. And I'm glad we're having this conversation because I wasn't even arguing necessarily that this is exactly what I do. More so I understand why they would do it.
Oh, no, yeah.
But since we're having this conversation, fine. So you want to get rid of Jahmyr Gibbs and not pay him and bring him in. Then you're doing exactly what I love this. You're doing exactly what I accuse the Fords of doing. They don't care about winning if they pull a move like that.
No, it's facts.
They want to be relevant.
No, it's
because my
facts.
conversation is based off of you telling me it's a championship team. This is what we're going to do. We're moving the future. We want to claim this Lombardi trophy and bring it to the great city of Detroit.
You know what it is?
So if you get rid of Jahmyr Gibbs because it makes sense to not pay him because Sam Laporta is going to be a better tight end down the line that's much cheaper, then here we are talking about what I always talk about, which is they don't care about winning the Super Bowl.
You know, and that's not necessarily Detroit fans' fault when they think that way because that's all they know.
True.
That's all we've seen.
How many
is
games
superstars
do you
walk
think
out of the
he
building.
averaged over 4 yards a carry last year?
How many games?
Averaged over 3?
Over 4.
Over 4?
4 or better.
Probably 6.
8.
Yeah, it hit 6 games where he was at 4 or better.
Yeah.
2-1, 3, 3-8, 2-8, 3-3, 3-4, 3-6, 2-9, 0.3, 2.4.
And look, and I agree with all those. That's why when we were having a conversation about Barry and Jahmyr last year, I laughed at you guys. But with that being said, the Lions had a notorious, horrible offensive line last year. I don't care what Pro Football Focus tries to tell me Tate Ratledge was. I don't care what they try to lie to me and tell me what Taylor Decker was last year. They were a horrible offensive line. Terrible offensive line, which they have gotten better. They've gotten younger, and 2 of them guys, they ain't paying. So
I'm all for extending Jahmyr Gibbs for however blank check.
I will say like this, and I'll be done with it on my side with this. You guys can keep going. I'll be done with it. It's not a situation like you're just a good running back. But there's been a ton of decent running backs or good running backs to come rush for 1,100, 1,200 yards in the last 20 years, in the last 10 years. There's been a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
Those guys don't elevate your team like a Jahmyr Gibbs does when it's in perfect form. And right now the team is coming into a perfect Voltron-type form, and you want to have that guy back there, realistically.
No doubt.
Like you got to have that guy. James Cook doesn't do it for you. Javonte Williams doesn't do it for you.
Yeah.
And realistically, Jahmyr Gibbs is a special weapon that doesn't come along often. Like I would think of maybe Jamal Charles, Dexter Lawrence type guy.
Without Gibbs last year, he only won 7 games.
Yeah.
Maybe even.
Shoot, he won 2 of those. One in overtime, one for sure.
The Giants.
I mean, it's a fair conversation to have, but I just don't see how many times people come along that are like Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right, and I'm all for signing him because it's generational. Like there's a difference between like elite and generational. Jahmyr Gibbs is in the generational talent category, but we do have some pretty fun stuff coming up for around the NFL as well, Braylon. If you wanted a sneak peek this real quick, I have a.
Ooh, what do you have?
I have a defense for you right here.
Yeah,
behind
next time don't title the name of the defense in the computers because now I know what it is, so I can't play.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to organize it, and I might have spoiled that for you, so I'm sorry about that. But
okay, now I can't participate, though.
This is the defense that, shout out to Sleeper on Twitter, Could you guess, and if you wanted to, I'm not sure if we're running on time right now, but we could preview this, or we can have the chat
New
look
England
at it
Patriots.
Too. There you go. Wow, that was pretty easy. You got it right.
It's only it's one position and one school that stood out.
I think I know
Christian
which one
Gonzalez.
Yep.
Like I saw Oregon at DB. I said, "What? That's because I was looking. I'm like, Ohio State."
There was another one that Vandals, I found that was incredibly hard, and I forgot who it was. It might have been Arizona, but I was like, I don't think anyone.
I don't even know any defensive players on Arizona.
The only one
not
that
named Buda Baker.
It was like the slot receiver went to, or the slot nickel went to Michigan. It was Will Johnson. That was the only one. That
Are we going to commercial break, or are we gonna keep this rocking and rolling, Jay?
Let's do this other one here.
Because we have an offense as well.
Okay, yeah. Well, I got one right. I'm off the board. I'll let you.
Yeah, wow, that was really quick too. That was freaking awesome. All right, you guys ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Boom. What team is this based off the offense?
Oh,
OSU.
I know this one too.
OSU running back.
I know this one. I guess this one straight off the dome. Pretty quick. Do you know it, Anson?
Yeah, because of this. Once
That
again,
too,
is that Tet? So this would be Carolina Panthers.
Yep, the Carolina Panthers.
See, that's all you got to do in these. Like, find the thing that sticks out.
Yep.
Like, Arizona wide receiver.
Yep.
He was good last year.
Oh, he was so good last year.
Oh, and in
South Carolina for
country.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
exactly. I said country.
We also have 2 graphs as well that are really interesting, but
we'll get those after the break.
Yes, we'll get those after the break. I want the chat to see, because it's pretty concerning.
Shout out to 2 for 2.
Yeah, that was quick too.
On a Friday.
I gotta start making this a little bit more challenging for the boys. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna tell you like this.
Yeah, you're gonna have to cover a couple.
What is?
Yeah.
what? I want to say Mega Millions is Saturday, so the Powerball is on Friday. What's the Powerball at? Because today the number for me is 2. I got on the scale. I weighed 222.2. And then I just got 2 for 2 in the last slide. 2 is the number today.
Might need to make a trip to the gas station after this break.
Maybe even just a daily 3. But how about you do me a favor? How about you tell me about Thrive? And when we come back, we'll talk about some concerning things as it relates to some defensive and statistical offense for stats for the Lions.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about Thrive, and I got them right here. I've been locking them, loading them all day because I had a long night watching the Odyssey until 2 a.m. So I've been a little bit tired today, and this has been the perfect remedy for me. Thrive pouches, clean energy, natural caffeine, cognitive focus, and satisfaction guaranteed. Get 15% off with the coupon code WSN at checkout at dipstop.com. This ain't your daddy's dip. Check it out with the QR code below and tap in today for a nice, clean, easy way to get your caffeine, baby.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
You're building a whole combat sports enterprise in the heart of it in Detroit, and that's what I think is the coolest.
I think with opportunity, right? Like you said, maybe you like to punch people in the face for real, and you know, you want to be a boxer, and you have an option there. Maybe you don't like getting punched in the face, and you want to make, you know, you like the theatricals and the storylines, and so you have an avenue here. Maybe you start at one and then want to change to the other. I don't care. I just want you in the building and know that you have some place to go to explore that. Just having the ability to, what do you want to do and how do you want to do it to the best of your ability? And you know, it all starts with the kids.
Some days call for light, others lean bold. What about everything in between? All Day IPA, the easy choice for every day. Citrusy, crisp, refreshing. Flavor you can float with. Light on the hops, big on refreshment. 1's great. 2, even better. Brewed with you in mind. No shortcuts, no fuss. Big on flavor, never too much. All Day IPA. Hop into easy.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
I'm so glad that we have partnered up with Loom to save 30% off each purchase there, because it's time for me to re-up. So I'm going to go to loom.com. I'm going to put my order in with that WSN 30. I'm going to get my 30% off. Then I'm going to drive to my favorite location. It's the Berkeley one, 12 and Woodward. I'm going to go see MJ, and I'm going to have a great weekend. And you can do the same, guys, because you get that 30% off too when you use that WSN 30. You can use it on their Buzz and Energy or one of their other amazing products that got all kinds of them. 40 locations throughout the state. They are Loom.
And we are back. Appreciate you guys for rocking with us all the time, especially on Fridays. And on Fridays, you can be doing a lot of things, but you're here rocking with us. I was asking Justin in the commercial break which movie he thought was better, Odyssey and Troy, and he told me he never finished Troy, so conversation fell on the moot point. But I will say this to Freddie Felt, Dante 151, and all the individuals out there that have seen Troy. We're talking about holdouts. Holdouts have been going on for a very, very long time, because if you've seen Troy, you'll know. Achilles held out on fight until he got favorable terms. He didn't fight in the beginning of the movie when he could have just killed Bo Agrius, but what did he do? I'm doing my own thing. I'm waiting until the terms are right. Then later on, once they get to Troy, he doesn't go fight after that first scene where he storms that museum. What he does? Sits on the beach, won't let his man fight until the terms are favorable. But then his protege gets killed, so he jumps into the battle. So holdouts and extensions have been happening for a very long time. B-Lab, before we went to commercial break, you were teasing this. Says you had some information, some stats on the Detroit Lions offense and defense about where they rank in certain areas with the rest of the league. Talk to us.
So I'm going to give the good news to you guys first.
Oh, there's bad news?
Oh, there is horrible news. But I'm going to...
Must be about that D.
Yes, it should. Let's see if I need to get the right one here. Yep, there we go. So this is a graph. Shout out to Nutshell.
Okay.
Oh, I got you. Thank you to Nutshell Sports for this beautiful insight on EPA per play, first half versus second half. Your Detroit Lions are in the upper echelon. They slightly fade in the second half, as you can see there. They are slightly below that median line right there. Oh, so do I.
Yeah.
But obviously, the last 4 years they've always been in the uppers. But as you can tell, you got your usual culprits in the strong all game and your usuals in the struggles all game. But I was satisfied to see this. Obviously, I'd rather see them above that median line and put them in the strong all game category. But this is very good stuff out of your Detroit Lions offensive line, in my opinion.
Two things I noticed right away when looking at this graphic. Thing one, there are 3 playoff teams that fades in the second half, and they definitely are faders, boy. You're talking about the Houston Texans, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Faded. Nobody does it better. But looking at the Detroit Lions, my assessment of that, Anson, I'll let you take your mark and what you see is this is absolutely right. But when people make the excuses, sometimes we give excuses a pass when you look at a graphic like this, because the excuse is bad offensive line, bad offensive coordinator, blah, 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 yakety smackety. 2 out all-pro defensive players, talking about Kirby Joseph as well as Brian Branch. When you don't have those players, when you don't have that as a strength, when you don't have the cohesion of actually having an offensive coordinator that you can rely on and you can lean on, it leads to this. Because just off raw talent, you talk about how good the Lions' offensive skill set is. You talk about how good the players are that they've drafted, All-Pro and Pro Bowls, etc. That'll get you to the second half.
Yeah.
And that'll get you to halfway through that third. But it's in that halfway through the third where you need the big uglies up front to maintain for the rest of the game. It's in that second half, in that fourth quarter, where you got to have an offensive coordinator that's been dialed in all game, and now he knows how to use the first 3 quarters to use what he's going to set you up for in that fourth quarter. So that's why I like this graphic, because you didn't have that last year. You didn't have the offensive coordinator setting you up in the fourth quarter with the first quarter and the second. You didn't have an offensive line that can grind it down to the fourth quarter. So when I see that, that's kind of how I took it.
Because offense wins championships, right?
Yeah, that's what people try to act like they don't, but
go back
that's
to
BS.
this here.
Because Kurt Warner almost has 2.
You see that team right there? They won the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, in Seattle.
Oh, yeah, they did.
And they're not on the good side.
That's because that defense.
And that's the thing. This is the offense. It's always a story of 2 different teams, your offense and your defense. We continue to pour assets and investment into our offense. In fact, you guys are going to bat for us to do it even more with our running back. And again, I just don't know how much money can go around. I do believe that they will extend him because that's what they do. But ultimately, there's another one that you're going to put up here in a second.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the investment has to go, because you see a Super Bowl championship team right there in the middle.
Yeah, they're right in the middle, and they're right above. So they start off slow, basically, is what that is saying. They struggle in the first half, and they come out hot in the second, which immediately translates to their defense putting them in good scenarios in the second half.
I agree. I mean, offense puts people in the seats. I mean, that is what it is. As the age-old tell, the more points you score, the more exciting you are. People want to pay that money to come see you. People want to tune in. That's why the ratings go up when the Lions are on the tube. I agree with that. But you paid J-Mo. You pay Amon-Ra St. Brown, you pay Panay, you pay Jared Goff a little bit too much in my estimation. So you paid these players. You paid Dave Montgomery, who's no longer here. Like, in my estimation, you have to go with Jahmyr Gibbs, though. Different.
Yeah, and I'm about to give you guys the most concerning one of them all right now. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
The good news and the bad news.
So originally in this graphic, they only showed to where the Cincinnati Bengals are at the bottom. It was just the square version of that.
Literally half of it, all the teams are on one half.
Correct.
And then there's another half just for one spot.
And I'm like, the Lions aren't even on this thing. I'm like, this is a faulty graph. And then I look in the replies, and then the full graphic appeared there, and they didn't even meet the minimum requirement of pass rush rate with a light box.
Like, the Jets are up there too. This is like the guy or the female or however you identify for this. This is like that individual in a race at the track meet that everybody gives a sympathy clap for. Like, when they finally come around the track, you're
the
like,
hurdles. Yeah.
Hey,
the dude who walks the mile.
Clap it up. He failed 9 times. Clap it up. Like, this tells the tale. Why have you been clamoring for the defensive players? Why have you been clamoring for the heads? Why? This is why.
Yeah.
This is why. Linebacker player over the last couple of years, it hasn't been to the level of a Super Bowl champ. Like, the defensive line, it hasn't been to the level of somebody that can stick and stay into that fight. And the secondary, as it relates to the DB position, when you don't have a defensive line or an offense scoring 40 points a game, makes it a struggle. This is a bit alarming.
Yeah, and one of the reasons, too, why they're above that medium line in the effective pass rush rate, but they're so far behind is because they blitz so much. And with a light box, they were still blitzing at least 60% of the time, so that front four never got to really kind of show exactly right, so that's the reason why they're all the way back there. But at the same time, that's not a good look. I mean, like, you're back there with some pretty bad teams.
The best thing about this graphic, though, Justin, is you legitimately, I mean, this is last season. So we're talking about why it was bad last season. We all know it was bad last season. We watched it with our own eyes, and we saw teams just be able to do what they wanted to at the line of scrimmage. It will be different. You've made strides, whether it's Derek Moore you drafted, whether it's the ends you brought in, whether it's Roger McCreary, Damone Clark, whether it's the players you drafted. You went defensive emphasis in the free agency, as well as what's his name? DJ Wonnum is another name that comes up. It may not be the names you like, but they're showing you that they're making an entrance to the side of defense.
Absolutely. It's really hard. The interior defensive line, we don't know what we're going to get from that this year. You need to see Aleem McNeil be better. You need to see Tyreek step up in a year or two and be what we drafted him to be in the first round. But in the edge situation, I do feel comfortable with the current edge situation. I think it's deeper than it has been, and I don't need, pixie dust and fairies next to Aiden Hutchinson. I just need a group of guys who can get that job done. Like, obviously a Max Crosby, like that upper echelon of players. Like, that's like the unicorn and rainbow scenario where, like, everything is awesome, everything's cool. That's not how Brad Holmes runs this team, and we've seen that. We at least see that he's changed his philosophy and brought in a couple guys that could potentially hold down the edge and do that kind of modern day rotation that we've been seeing be so successful on Super Bowl teams that in the past. I mean, you saw Seattle rotated. You had the Eagles the year before that, and like that seems to be the way to get the most competent edge room is by starting having a good rotation, and a good rotation makes sure that these pressure rates stay higher because everyone's more rested and ready to go versus everyone being like, Hutch played over 95% of the snaps last year. And that's way too much, and that's where you're going to hopefully see an uptick from his production because he's not going to be so gassed all the time.
I'm glad you bring that up because that's exactly the conversation I want to have, and that's what I want to ask you. Let's have a dumb question. The dumb question is, if Aiden Hutchinson, who now has more defensive line, he has more secondary help, he has more help in the second line as it relates to the backers, if he has another 14.5 or 14 sack season, is there a different conversation to be had about the expectations or the trajectory of where he's going to be? Because when he was drafted, I didn't necessarily want him as the player for the Detroit Lions when they drafted him in 2021, and I was on record as saying that. But everybody crowned him the best defensive end in the league. And then you see the strides he took in 2024 before he got hurt. And then you see him come back in 25 with 14.5 sacks. Does he have to have 17 or more for us to continue to have the conversation about? Because he hasn't done it yet, but people call him the third best edge in the game. Yeah. So if he has another 14.5 sack season, when you have an offense that's better, an offensive line that's better, an assumed offensive mind coach that's better, and a defense that is better and is going to be healthy. Can we have a different conversation about him? Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to a certain extent, absolutely. And even having 14.5 sacks coming off of that, like, horrible injury alone just kind of shows, like, where he can actually be at to his full potential. The one thing that I'm really kind of looking for the most out of Hutchinson is I would be cool to see, like, 15-plus sacks, of course. But I need to see that relentless pass rush every single play. I need to see him, like, make a disturbance every play. Because there are times where teams do scheme up against him, and he's completely taken out of the play. But now that we have edge depth, it'll be a lot easier for him to actually get one-on-one matchups, and that's what I'm looking for.
I can't wait to have this conversation in the middle of the season, at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because I'm tired of hearing the shit that he's being schemed for. Like, don't you realize when you're the number one edge on the team and when you're like that, you get schemed for?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Everybody that is averaging 14-plus sacks gets schemed for.
Yep, and that's another thing, too. If we can get someone opposite and we can actually the whole thing about this graph, too, in general, this explains when defenses are completely spread out and they don't have anybody in the box.
Yeah.
The Lions literally ran probably the most people with 6 or more defenders in the box all the time. They were blitzing all the time. 60% of the time's a lot in the NFL.
Which means it's wide open.
But that's what I want to see is I want to see the defense spread out. I want to see fewer guys in the box and us for actually to generate a front four that can get to the quarterback and create a disturbance, because that's how you win. And the fact that you can rush 4 and drop 7, like that's completely you can't run an offense when you can do that so efficiently. That's why you see Denver up there. They have elite perimeter defense.
Yeah.
Cleveland even had elite perimeter defense. And both of those teams, what they have in common is their front four is relentless and it's ferocious. Every single team in that box, their front four is amazing. And that's what you can do when you can rush 4 and drop back 7. It is almost impossible to go up against.
There were a couple of those contracts that were available this offseason, too, for the turn of 3 years, $60 million, 3 years, $48 million, that could have produced you some of those other guys to help move you up. But I digress. I
feel you, though.
Let's do this. Let's get a quick commercial break in. We got last break. We'll come up. We'll wrap up the show for the week. Justin, tell us about amnesia as well as Gold Crown.
Let me tell you about it.
It's almost like it's a
tap in.
Let me
it's a
tell
FIFA
you
game
about
today.
amnesia. 2 flavors, 1 device, 3 ways to enjoy it. You can enjoy it with the sativa, indica, or the mixed flavor, whatever gets you going. They also have great glass joints as well. Clean, easy to smoke, don't canoe, and they're the best gifts. Make sure you tap them in amnesia and you're with your local dispensary today.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Experience summer in Detroit with pro soccer at Keyworth Stadium. Every Detroit City FC match brings a new reason to show up early and stay late. Tickets available now at DebtCityFC.com.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Let me tell you about Gold Crown Cannabis. The Royal Jesters, 1.5 grams total of coated in keef and live resin infused. They smoke like royalty, and that's how you should feel when you're smoking as good a weed as you smoke with Gold Crown. Gold Crown is a staple. They've been in the cannabis game as long as I can remember, and so make sure you tap in with them. They're at almost every dispensary I've ever been to, so make sure to find an exact location. You go to their website, www.goldcrownextract.com. And when you're also trying to relax off of there's no better to do so than in a massage chair from the Massage Chair House, the largest massage chair showroom in the great state of Michigan. They have the premium models like the Pharaoh and the Osaki. I miss our massage chair. Let me tell you, Dr. Eric Duggan, please bring it back. But you should go and see and test him out at his YouTube channel. Scan the QR code above our head today and get your relaxation game upgraded by Dr. Eric Duncan.
Over here trying to figure out dinner for tonight. I got sent the menu potentially. Vietnamese noodle bowls?
Ooh.
Question mark.
Huh.
Or fried catfish.
Well, I'm not a catfish guy. I might have to go with that bowl, though, as long as there's no lettuce in there.
Well, we have our own lettuce from our garden.
Oh, good.
Yeah. We out the ground with it. Okay, I'm asking what the sides are right now for the fried catfish to let you guys know that when I get back to you.
Caleb Williams, as Anson would like to say.
Hey, not bad. Not bad.
Low-key?
Let's see.
She said with poor fries. Chicago catfish fan in our thread today. Oh my! So Braylon, when you change your screen name, to talk crap about another city, like you've lost your identity, you've become obsessed, and the shit talking that you are doing literally is just such a reflection of how small you are, because your identity is your hate for another city. There's a lot of people in the chat that really appreciate what I just said.
Yeah, minus aura for that guy. There was a New York
but let's be honest.
Yeah,
it's on brand for Chicagoans.
Yeah,
right?
I put Chicago and New York in the same category.
Hey, peasants, baby, peasants.
Peasants. Sorry. Well, I said New York. I didn't say that.
The Knicks won a championship,
yes,
but the fan base of both,
they're both
share high level peasantry
by far.
Man.
So over the weekend, Jay-Z did a tour. No, he didn't do a tour. He did a concert. He did 3 concerts. He did 3 albums. It was the 30th anniversary of the Reasonable Doubt album, which came out, I want to say, it was 26, came out in 96. Then he did, I want to say, The Blueprint, which was celebrating 25. And then he did, because it came out, and then he did the Black Album. And he did those 3 concerts. He's a New Yorker. He did a Yankee Stadium, and he did those 3 albums. If you had to choose an artist, just pick 2 albums for them to cover at a venue that matched that energy. Here's an example. Well, I just gave you one. I don't want to ruin it. What would you do? What would you choose? Anson, do you have one? And people, do you guys have one? Freddie Phil, I know you have 1,000 examples, so give them to us all in the chat.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm going to National Stadium.
Okay, so you're going to D.C.?
No, I'm going to Kingston.
Oh, so you're going to Bob Marley?
Hell yes.
Okay, so shout out to Bob. Yes. Oh, and the Wailers. You can't not just say Bob
Marley.
Of course. Okay, Bob
Peter
Marley.
Tosh will be there, and
so
the whole
sneaky.
Crew. The whole crew, man.
Okay.
I want to put Catch a Fire on there because Concrete Jungle's on there. Maybe my all-time favorite track. But Exodus and Burnin', that weekend, the world can end after that because it's going to be filled with love.
Yeah, I don't want it to end, but I tell you what, it'll be an amazing time, and you're going to smoke the ganja.
Oh, yeah. Right from the homeland.
Okay, respect. All right, so we got Bob Marley National Stadium, which is in Jamaica. Kingston, Jamaica, excuse me.
So off the dome. For
that was
me,
that was pretty good.
Yeah, that is good.
Listen, I'm obsessed with his live shows. I have a lot of bootleg of his live shows. You can feel the energy in that room from a recording 40 plus years ago. I desperately want to feel that.
What is it about? And I don't know if it's this era now. You guys went to college in this era. Anson, you and I went to college in the past era. When you got to college, it was like the Bob Marley thing just exploded.
If you were white in college, you had to. That was like a prereq. You get high, you have to listen to Bob Marley.
But like, remember, it's like you go to Union, here come the posters, here comes the black, yellow, and green.
It was
I knew about Bob Marley. I listened to Bob Marley, but when I got to college, I was like, "Oh, I really need to be about Bob Marley."
I don't think it's still. I don't think they do it anymore. Yeah. I think that was our era. Like Bob was king in the '90s. If you were in college,
you couldn't even go into the Union to try to get his posters all sold out like before school.
Did you guys? Was he big for you guys in college?
No.
I don't think they had like same situations as them was at home. I guess
they were busy fighting. We were all one love.
All right. What you
Hey, I wasn't fighting, but I will say
it's dealing with COVID.
Yeah, I was. Well, that was more high school a little bit. We kind of escaped that throughout college, thankfully. But off the top of my head, my artist would be Lil Wayne, Carter 3 and Carter 4.
Superdome. At
the Superdome. I had a buddy of mine, his father always goes to Mardi Gras, and he's always been telling us to go down there. We've been to Nashville, we've been to Tampa, Florida, we've been to a couple places down south, but he's like, you guys, it would seem like you guys would have fun at Mardi Gras. So we were like, okay, we'll think about it. And I've seen some videos, I've seen some, some clips and stuff like that. Mardi Gras looks like a good time. The Superdome obviously is one of my favorite stadiums. I remember back in the day, Madden 09, I was always playing with the Saints because they were cracked. And they were at the Mercedes Superdome at the time. Now it's called the Caesar Superdome. And, the Saints have always just had that aesthetic feel. Lil Wayne, obviously being from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, really close in general. And I also do want to catch an LSU football game at their stadium because I've heard that is an unreal experience in itself as well.
LSU versus Bama.
Yeah, something like that. Some big SEC matchup I would love to go see. Somewhere around then, when I first started getting into the music game and still playing sports and stuff like that growing up, Lil Wayne was really popping off hot with the Carter 4, and I was real young, mind you. And my parents hated that I listened to him, but I watched a whole documentary about him when I was young, and kind of fell into the rap game when it was with like him and Eminem. They were kind of going back and forth of who was the greatest at the time. Drake was obviously getting up there. Jay-Z was still around, and so it brings me back to my childhood a little bit because I have been a Lil Wayne listener my whole life.
There are only there are only 3 artists that got played my senior year, and only a couple artists got paid. But there are only 2 artists my senior year. It was Lil Wayne, it was Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I focused on Kanye before that and after that, but my senior year I was down in. Lil Wayne got me up.
Yep.
And Jay-Z was the one that kept me constant. All right, just chill, smooth. The talk was a little different.
In high school, senior year?
No, college.
Okay.
U of M. Riley, jump in real quick. We already past 4 o'clock, but who cares? You doing Woodward Wings today? All right, bet. So we're good.
Nope, yeah.
You got it.
Mine's, I'm going back in time a little bit, just paying homage to my GOAT. I'd have to go with the Purple Rain album.
Ooh,
and I was up in there between 1999 and Sign of Times. I think I'm gonna go with Sign of Times, and we're going back to First Ave, baby.
Shout out.
We're going to Minneapolis. We're going to where he filmed Purple Rain. I like super small, intimate settings. It's not a big place. It sits maybe 1,300 people.
Yeah, shout out.
And so have him play all 27 of his instruments. Go back there, just smoke some weed, and listen to Prince jam out, man.
Shout out to Prince Rogers Nelson, man, home Minnesota, Minneapolis.
Yes, sir.
Hence the term, purify yourselves in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
You want some waffles?
100%. All right, Jay, what you got for us?
I have one that people will actually know and one that people won't because I don't listen to very mainstream
I
music.
know it.
Yeah, and you will know it, yeah. So the first one is Daft Punk. You can pick the albums and you can pick the venue. I don't care.
Where?
I don't care.
Sweden?
Sure. I mean, honestly, like Red Rocks would probably be the choice if I was picking somewhere in the United States.
Pretty good.
Because I was just like getting into their music right when they retired or took hiatus, whatever you want to say. And then number 2 is the one that people won't know. He's from Detroit. It's Grizz. He still performs. However, it's from way back in the day. Good Will Prevail album and Mad Liberation, 2 of his first albums, way before I was a fan.
Fire. Absolute fire.
Who was the second one?
I like those picks. I like the first one.
Grizz. Okay, fantastic. From Michigan.
From the Muzzy Bear era.
100%.
Yeah.
I got 2 and we got...
I got to push back on the Daft Punk before we get to you. We got some time. It's Friday. Daft Punk pissed me off so much because I was deep. I was in like Speedy J and all of that other stuff. Daft Punk did Around the World, which was the mainstream that made it for everybody. And for like 4 years, I was trying to get people to go downtown with me and go to these shows, and they're like, Around the World, and all of a sudden everybody was a techno fan. I gotta hand it to them though because they opened the door for the world to hear techno.
Yeah, respect, man. Shout out to Daft Punk, the 2 individuals that have only removed their helmet in public once.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
One time.
Where was it?
They did it originally right before they broke up and came right back together before they launched Around the World.
Okay, you got a lot of music now.
I random stuff.
Looking
Here we
forward
go.
to hearing your answer.
Mine is I got 2 for you. I got 1 close to home and 1 is dope. I got to steal. Justin did too, so it validated me. 1, I'll go away from home first. it is what it is. Look, man, Kanye West is an artist who transcends time, especially in the beginning, the creativity. Every time he put out a project, it changed the landscape of music. So for me, I would want to see The Graduation and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I would want to see those two in Soldier Field. I know you hate Chicago and all that other stuff. I would want to see that in Soldier Field, but I would want to see it with the production data he's doing with the Sphere, like Earth, and stuff. Doing that. You give me Kanye in Chicago, like, I mean, just even listening to the song, is like my mom told me was my name would light up the Chicago skyline. Like, I always think about that in my head. So to hear that in Chicago, him on that Sphere, give me that. And bringing it back close to home, I love Marvin Gaye. I love the old school space. Give me Marvin Gaye at the Palace of Auburn Hills, because there is no better place.
It was so good.
There is no better place to
buddy.
see a concert than the Palace of Auburn Hills. We appreciate you guys, man. It's been a hell of a week. It's been fun. It's been a grueling week talking about some of the more serious conversation, whether it's Ward Manuel, whether it's Stevie Eisner. One thing about here, we don't shy away from topics. We talk about them, we address them, we make them whole, and then we move on. But appreciate your support. Anson, hell of a week out of you. B-Lad, Riley, and then Justin Satawa on my right hand. Appreciate you, man. Little mess up situation, and everybody here was calm and got through the show. No big deal. This is what we do. See you guys. Enjoy your weekend. Stay inside. Monday, Peaks and Cheeks. Have a peek and cheek when we come back. We want to know, what did you watch? Who impressed you and who didn't? World Cup is on Sunday. Somebody do something crazy? Peaks and Cheeks, we'll talk about it Monday. Enjoy the weekend.
The game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.